Welcome to Meadowbrook Memories podcast. I am Jelly, otherwise known as Glacier Prince, and my co-host is Hitchcock, otherwise known as Alfred Henry. Our mission on this podcast series is to explore the stories behind the magic that was created at Meadowbrook. When over a span of 4 years, between 1982 and 1986, we saw the transformation of a small co-educational school with less than 1,200 students, 800 boys, 800 girls and 400 boys into a successful sports and scholastic champion, winning 7 major trophies, 3 Sunlight Cup, 2 Topping Cup, 1 Walker Cup and 1 Nutriment Shield. And to crown these achievements, Meadowbrook also produced 2 Rhodes Scholars, Cavell Creighton in 1987 and Andrea Wright in 1989, both graduates of Meadowbrook in 1983. In this podcast series, we'll be speaking to persons, both males and female, who are actively involved in this incredible journey, along with friends and staff at Meadowbrook, which inspired the environment which created this golden era. We hope you enjoy our discussion. Please give us as much support and encouragement as you can on whatever social media platform you are listening. Welcome and thanks for joining us. Okay, today is Sunday, March 20th, 2022, and welcome to our conversation number 8, as I call it. Me, as usual, Jelly, and my co-host, Freddie Hitchcock Henry. On the line, I have a very special guest for me personally, because he and I started out at Meadowbrook the same year, almost 50 years ago. And until I saw the great Brian Lara, no other batsman could disdainfully destroy any bowling, spin or pace the way this man nonchalantly stroke opposing bowlers back over the head beyond the boundary. Our relationship is more than just an admiration for his cricket exploits, but because we have remained in close contact with each other over all these years. He was the man who toasted me at my wedding, and when the master of ceremony attempted to trip him up with a faster ball by asking if he was a software or hardware specialist, as an IT university graduate, he confidently stroked that question away to the boundary and said that his special skill was in hardware and not software. He is what our generation would call a bona fide friend, or what our daughter's generation currently calls BFF. Anyway, without further fanfare, let me welcome my good friend Douglas Crooks. Dougie, introduce yourself.
All right, Glister, Jelly, my brethren, Alfred Hitchcock, my soulmate from Meadowbrook. I remember like it were yesterday, but it was 1974 when I started Meadowbrook, and I don't know where the time went. I'm now nearly 60 years old, and I'm glad to be here. And I'm glad that we have a friendship, and I'm glad that we have camaraderie and spiritship amongst us. So bless up to everybody here.
Yeah, man. So in the year that we start Meadowbrook 1974. Me and Dougie start Meadowbrook the same year. So Dougie, the first question I always ask everybody, did you choose Meadowbrook or Meadowbrook chose you?
So good question, Jelly. So we started Meadowbrook in 1974 when I was 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened is my life has always been punctuated by failure. And then what happens is when the failure occurs, I tend to turn that failure into something very positive, and it turns out good for me. So I started at Hilltop Prep School. Lived in Havendale, and I was playing a lot of cricket there. I was a kind of a cross-bat, kind of a left-hander, and lots of cricket. And I did not pass my common entrance. I failed it. My dad sent me 2 extra lessons, and I remember the night when the gentleman who was doing the extra lessons called my dad and told him Doug is going to fail his common entrance because he's not on the right path. I failed the common entrance, I felt like I could just go down into the ground because I felt so defeated. I wasn't sure why I wasn't at the right level. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I ended up at Meadowbrook because of my uncle, Reverend Ashley Smith, and I will call his name here. He has passed on. I love that man. That man is a Jamaican stalwart, a theologian, and the number one person for me who got me into Meadowbrook and put me on the path that everything turned around for me there. So didn't pass the common entrance, failed it, got into Meadowbrook. Then I ended up in the C stream. I remember the first day I went to school and we were all in the assembly hall and end up in the C stream. So now I'm coming from behind and I feel like I have to prove something. So Meadowbrook never chose me. I chose Meadowbrook because I had failed my common entrance. So that's what happened
You
with that,
feel you come on
guys.
in. So which school did I pick for then? Let me ask a question. If you'd have picked, I never picked on a school. You know about the school
I
you like more than Meadowbrook? That's the question really I ask you.
Yeah, what happened is I probably would have wanted to go to a more established school like a Woolmars or a Calabar or a KC if I had that ability and I passed the common entrance. But now that I look back on my life, I am happy that I went to Meadowbrook, and I'm glad that I failed my common entrance to end up at Meadowbrook because Meadowbrook brought things into my life that to this day I love and treasure Meadowbrook. Because remember two things, nothing happened before the time, and everything happened for a reason in this life. You just can't see it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So your first day on the campus then, you come on Meadowbrook. You didn't know Meadowbrook there before?
No, I've never went in there at all. Never, I mean, I just knew that it was a school that was very mostly girls went there. That's what I heard. And then that was confirmed on my first day at school. We had a ratio of about what, 3 girls to 1 boy in terms of, you know, the school population. So I didn't know much about Meadowbrook going into it.
Yeah, like a trailer load of girls at Shabbat, I say, yes. Yeah.
Yes, man, the girls were something else, man. Let me start on that when you're ready, man. Let me know.
So you come in now and you say then at the C stream, right?
Yes.
And explain to people what that mean in terms of say, what that A, B, or C. Because I'm then at the B stream, so I know what you're talking about. But explain the significance of you in the C stream.
So essentially, I would say the weaker students or the students that might not be in the top tier of the system. I don't know how they quantify that to put us in that system, but I looked at my own failures and said, well, they wouldn't put me with the smarter kid who passed the common entrance in the A stream, because remember, Meadowbrook had at the time, the school had about 3 first forms, A, B, C, with about 30 to 35 people each. And the brighter kids were in A and B, and the duncer kids like myself who didn't perform but were eager and hungry to show that we are not failures. So I was in the C, and that's where I started my drive.
So when you come, sorry Freddie, it's only I get up something to say.
No, man, go ahead.
Yeah, so when you come Meadowbrook the first day now, and you come on the campus, you say, funny you live in there, I never know Meadowbrook there before, I never knew about the school. What was your thought when you come on the campus? What was the first impression when you land on the campus?
I looked at it and I saw a wide cross section of people. I saw a lush campus that had nice trees, nice buildings. The school didn't look overwhelming to me. I remember the tennis court, the canteen. I remember that Mr. Pecker outside. So all these things were, it was to me, my first thought was when I walked into that school, this is some place that I can manage. It is not too big. Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
Hmm.
So what's some of the people you remember you coming in at school the first day, you know? So, sorry, Freddie, go ahead.
That's close enough with the school. It used to be just, together. You can't miss
Yes.
anybody.
No, no. It's
You
almost
know.
like the last person to leave the school would lock up the gate, you know?
All right.
Yeah,
Because
Yes.
something like that. The truth is like, and there is nobody at harass if you leave the school at all. That is true, doggy.
Yes.
yeah, because remember now how it was situated. You had the newer building right there, the assembly hall as you come in on the right, then the teachers' staff room, and to the left of that you had the industrial arts, and then you
Yeah.
had the main building where we were, that tall third floor
Two-story building,
building.
yeah, yeah. Because
Right.
when you come,
Mhm.
if the staff room where you come and know Freddie wasn't there now.
Mhm.
The staff room was
That's
just the
right.
one
Yeah,
building
no. Mm. It was
Right.
up by
The
the
library.
assembly.
by assembly hall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
everything there
Yes.
right,
Right.
so yes, exactly. There was no that was the staff room and Mr. Top office and everything there right. So there them building I think the start get constructed during that time there when we in a first, second and third farm. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
So you come out of school now, what's some of the people them where you know, boys or girls, you buck up on and you say rated. You look on them man and the man you stamp for certain things and I say, are the teachers them? Comment on some of the teachers where stand out you will remember. Incident teachers, students, anything in the early years.
Well, the students know because I was sort of shy when I came into Meadowbrook and a little bit reserved because of the failure with the common entrance. It defeats your character
You
to a
lack
certain point. At least for me, it did.
you lack
So
of
I was
confidence,
very
yeah, yeah.
exactly. So I came in there a little gun shy. I remember Christopher Germain, I know he passed on. Richard Cardoza, he and I became very close when we started. And just a number of people in the C stream, it's like um, Margaret Jones, I think, was also in that Penelope Latty, Courtney
Oh yeah.
Strudwick.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Mm,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The
some of
group
those people have
I
passed
came
on.
into.
Mhm.
Go again, Freddie.
That's, no, that was the same. All the people who Dougie mentioned a while ago.
Yeah.
Almost everybody was in my 4C.
Yeah, yeah, the
Yes,
same set of people them come up to see. Right, right,
that's
right, right,
right.
right, 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 right,
So, and then some of the teachers there were Mrs. Millwood was someone that I
Mhm.
had her from math, and I remember failing some of the math tests that she gave, and it then reinforced this whole issue that I had with not feeling like I was getting on top of my schoolwork. And, those things drove me to just work so hard. Because it's funny because I used to go to my dad went to Elim Gospel Hall. And because I was so weak in the subjects, I used to go to the bathroom every time I had a break and I would pray every day. And I did that from first form, second form, third form. And I would pray to God to ask Him to help me to understand my work, to not be so nervous, and just to focus on what was required. And then what happened to me, because I was going to Sunday school at Elim Gospel Hall, my dad was a member there, and he would say to me, Doug, you're going to Sunday school. So I used to say to him, why my sister's not coming? He says, well, until you learn to behave, you're going to Sunday school. And I said to myself, but what is this? But what it did for me, Hitchcock and Jelly, is I was studying the Bible verses and I was very good at memorizing those Bible verses. And what it did for me, which I did not know, and I thank God every day for His mercy, is that it started to hone a photographic memory for me. So when I went into the class, I could look at things on the board, look at my notes, and I could visualize things and start to remember stuff like it was like I'm doing a Bible verse. So that's what that did for me. And then praying every day was something, and I stopped it after third form because after that I started advancing in the classes, and then I sort of throttled back on that, which was not so good. But I know God
You
understands.
backslide.
You backslide, God understands. Yeah, yes, yes. He knows I'm out here.
Him going on your stream and backslide, Freddie. See what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it was prayer every day, and when I went into the bathroom, a lot of times the poetry that was written on the bathroom walls was just amazing. And you look at it and you wondered, who put these verses of poetry up here? And you look on it and you just keep praying and you just keep studying. So that's what happened in 1C, and did that right up to 3C.
So hold on. So how you get involved in a competitive sport then? I can remember you play farm football, cricket. It's almost I remember you play cricket for Sunlight from first farm. I remember might be wrong, but when me see
Right.
you bat, me I say, kid. Because I never make
Yeah.
Sunlight in me I repeat with farm, you know. But when me see this man at bat, you know, me I look on him and the timing and thing when I so did you make Sunlight? We talk about the football first. The little football we play, farm football. Because there was some good competitive football we used to play.
Right. So what happened is my dad, as someone who grew up very humble, he would always buy every single piece of gear that I needed to play. So there would be soccer balls, te cricket ball, bat. So during the summer, my home at Burbank Avenue, we would call it Douglas Oval. So we would have at any one time 15 to 20 young men from the area coming over, playing cricket, playing scrimmage, depending on whatever we felt like doing. So, what that did for me with regards to cricket, let's look at cricket first, is it honed my ability to play all different types of bowlers because some of those guys could turn the ball in a manner that I said to myself, how did he do that? And you learn how to get along with people. You learn how to play in a team because if you want to know how to be a team player, you play a sports like cricket or football, and it is going to hone that ability for you to get on with others. So we started playing the scrimmage at Douglas Oval. We broke a whole bunch of my neighbors' glass. We just were not thinking outside the box to put up nets. But let me tell you, a whole heap of glass we broke up, Reggie. Whole heap.
So
So now, come to Meadowbrook now. I remember Mr. Senior. Remember Mr. Senior? He was the caretaker
yeah, man, that's
for
Baba
Meadowbrook.
father,
Hitchcock. Yeah, Hitchcock
Christopher
and
Senior
Jelly.
father. Yeah, yeah.
There you go. So we had a pitch. Meadowbrook had a pitch right where the buildings are. A pitch was right there. And it's very close. It was very close to the assembly hall.
Yeah, man,
And
up on the top field, the picture up on the top field. Yeah, man, remember that. Yeah,
it
yeah.
was a clay pitch. So then Mark Swaby, who is also went to Hilltop and went to Meadowbrook. So he then told Mr. Senior, give Doug a bat on this pitch. And Mr. Senior said, okay. And they gave me a bat. And let me tell you, that was history. Mr. Senior then took me under his wing. And the first thing out of my mouth is, boy, this left-hander look like him can play Colts already. And he's in first form. So he then set that in motion for me to start getting into cricket. And of course, that was where I was strongest with cricket. And then with regards to soccer, I felt fairly comfortable with the soccer ball from playing the scrimmage, but not really as skillful as yourself or Hitchcock with regards to the soccer. You understand?
So
Yeah.
I'm Mr. Senior introduced you to Meadowbrook then Pissarated based on the strength of Swebe.
Yes.
I said, boy,
Yes.
give this youth a chance. So
Yes.
Swebe didn't look older than you, even know Mr. Senior from before then.
That is correct. Swaby is like about 2 years older than me, a year or 2 years older. So he was like a bigger brother to me, even at prep school and even at Meadowbrook. And then he had a an older brother, Garth, also.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
that was the start of it because once I started like that, there was no turning back.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because I don't remember if I really played Sunlight in first form, but I know playing Colts, but I do remember that I had a good run with the cricket and it was well appreciated and I had a lot of backing from Tito, Courtney Holmes and um, Ray Boy Holmes.
Raymond Holmes,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
When we go to
those
school,
guys
Ray
took
Boy that play Colts and Tito was captain of the Sunlight team. Yes, yes, I
us,
remember
right,
that. Right,
and
right.
they took me under their wing and I had a good run with the cricket and it allowed me to learn how to get on with people and it made you essentially somewhat popular in the school because people say, hey, a guy can kick the football like Jelly or keep goal like Hitchcock. Okay, Dougie can hit the ball. Oh, that's the guy when we see him close up, you know?
So
Yes.
bearing that in mind, what the first match you remember, competitive match you remember I played for Meadowbrook? Well, before I go there, sir, who are some of the man them in your age group where you say, look on and I say, boy, what the man I can bowl or can bat? Where I play with in a first or second farm? Where you remember?
Well, in terms of the guys that went to Meadowbrook or
Yeah, man, in
other
Meadowbrook,
schools.
Meadowbrook. So who come to
Well,
the
so I remember of people like Rattigan was a very good spin bowler. Remember him?
we play so,
Herbie,
yeah,
Herbie,
Herbie the captain of
yep.
old team when I did that, yeah.
Stevie Grier,
Yeah, I remember him, yeah. Him did that, yeah.
Lenworth Johnson. Jago was a very good left-hand spin bowler. Crockin, we know Glenn Atkins was a very effective, um, formidable
Fast
guy bowling pace. Yes, could hurt you, would hurt you.
best fast
And
bowler out of Meadowbrook.
that's right. And then you had Ferdinand Bent and just lots of, I mean, I remember Pegged and a whole bunch of other guys that came in and were playing cricket. Christopher Fisher, the Meadowbrook guys, and then you had other classmates getting involved in it. So it was a melting pot for playing.
So when you start playing, you never afraid of nobody then, based on the fact that you practice a doggy's over for so long. You
That's
never
right. I was afraid of no one and I was very aggressive when I was batting. So the
Yeah,
harder
true.
you came at me is the harder I would come at you. So it was a psychological game that I was playing with you to destroy you and to hit you off your length.
try to get only for practice up by your oval to do that. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Exactly. And then I was also playing, my father is a cricketer and he was working for KCC at the time, and I was playing with big men. So I was the boy on the side playing with big men, carrying the water, playing with my dad, and going on his side against men that were 30 years older than me. So you learn how to take a little ribbon, you learn how to make ducks, you learn how to just play the game.
Well,
So I wasn't afraid of any of the schoolboys. You understand?
hold
Because I
on.
was playing cricket
Hold
with
on.
big man.
You mentioned something there, but I never know that. So you say, when you're at Meadowbrook in a first farm, you play, well, we eventually
Big
end
man,
up play Evelyn Cup and Minor Cup and all them things, because that would be the team where you fall up. If
right.
you play them on
No,
there.
no, 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 no. He wasn't on that level. What he was just like KCC playing water commission. KC, it was governmental cricket. So uh,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. There was
yeah,
a few of those teams used to play in the Evelyn Cup, like GPO, Government Printing Office.
City
there,
Treasury.
there you go. There you
He said,
go, Hitchcock.
yeah,
Yep,
you just
yep.
come over. I want to that, yeah.
It wasn't really like a Corrigan match as with a card. It was a little more official than that.
It's
Yeah,
a
it was
little
like
more
more
official
business
than
out.
that. Yeah, it's a little more official. So me now being the 10th or the 11th guy on it, learning from those men, getting the opportunity because my dad felt that learning sports was important to develop your character. And therefore, I always moved around with him and ended up playing that. So when I'm now dealing back with Colts or Sunlight players, they were like, um, they were easy targets for me. You get it?
Yeah, me understand what you said. No, me understand when you get the confidence.
Right.
Say never come in a school like you learned, then it's like you don't come
No,
in. Yeah.
right. Because I remember we're playing a match against George's down at Bottom Field, one of the best fields in the corporate area when we were going there, lush and pretty. And I was playing one of the Adams brothers, and he was getting the better of me because he had a good length. And my dad was watching from the field, and he says, Doug, you're tall enough that what you should do is just take 2 steps down the wicket and take him off his length. Because he's bowling at such a good length that if you come forward, it will pick up on the bat. You know, you could get an edge. Or if you go back, you don't know if it coming straight or whatever, you get an LBW. So my dad says the way how you deal with a guy like that is to just chip down the wicket and knock him off his length. So because of those things and the coaching my dad gave, I would get aggressive to certain players to take them off of their length.
So you come in you come in about no wonder you have the confidence. You come in not afraid no guy at all. Because
No, man, I'm not afraid of guy because I play with big man and I'm playing with guys at my home from up Manningsville Road, and they come down. We had people like Christopher Kennedy, who was a very fast bowler from Kingston Technical, a left-hand bowler, and that's the kind of thing we're playing in my home. So when you get exposed to that type of thing, believe you me, when you come into a pitch and nice gears and everything, and guy bowling your donkey drops, you're going to tear it up. You understand me?
yeah,
Because because I remember even when we were having a cadet camp, Mr. Gooden was a cadet guy, and if you wanted to get on his good side, get in Mr. Gooden cadet. I went in the cadet, and I remember playing JC in a Sunlight Cup match, and I think I hit 3 4s consecutively down at Bottom Field, and then we switch over because I wasn't going to play with them, and we switch over, and I did a padding of the ball, and the JC umpire gave me out, which everybody was saying he stole me out, but I should have just not done that. But I was not playing with that bowler. So to hit 3 consecutive 4s in the first over, it means you're seeing the ball and you have no respect for that bowler.
So me not describe you wrong then. Me describe you as somebody who never have no problem I walk into the bowl of them, whether in a training or because that's the impression me get, you never fear no one at all. Me just afraid of cracking. Me can't say that yes or no and 40 years later.
Right.
Cracking it fast. It's a
He
massive
was.
deal. But you
Right,
never
he
fear
was.
cracking or 40 or none of them on at all. Yeah.
No, and you know, Kraken had this way to look at you with his eyes, and it was very disconcerting. He would look at you like,
Then you know, Dougie, that's how I met the cricket team, you know.
yeah,
Yeah, they didn't know I played cricket. When I came, no one knew that I played cricket, you know, 'cause I came as a footballer.
right. I remember that, a goalkeeper.
Yeah, and even when I went out from Sunlight under the tree,
Yeah,
Kraken was running from the building over there, you know. And so I hear them that fast, now I start pushing back, you know.
right.
So when Mr. Simpson was the coach at the time,
That's all right.
he said, "Oh, you have 6 more." So boy, I was looking for
Really?
one.
You have 6 more? You have 6 more for face?
And then when Kraken go pitch up one, I'm just push. I remember I come fast, I'm just pushing and it reaching the building, hitting the building behind it. And I tell the man, look for me, you know.
If looks could kill, right? If looks could kill. I mean, let's be honest here. Kraken eyes were like, oh man, when he gave you that stink stare, it was like, what is going on? Did I take your young one? Why are you looking at me like that?
Man, look at me. So me said, boys, I look at him, he only have 6.
Yeah. But you know what? For me and him, because I guess people said, Doug, you were also very aggressive to Kraken. And I know that the faster he would bowl at me, if I got the line properly, is the faster I would hit it, because all you need to do is pick up the line and just touch it, and it's gone at maybe twice the velocity that he was bowling at.
It's so fast, yeah.
Yes. But I was not afraid of him because I knew how he bowled, and I had witnessed how he hit a couple fellas, because I remember feeling at Silly Midon, and I remember he hit a Campion batsman in the ear, and it was blood. And he was very fast and very intimidating, but if you show fear, he's going to take you down. So you have to do like a Viv Richards. I am not afraid of him. And if he does, yes, right. If him pitch it wrong, you have to try and hook it or get out the way to protect your face, and then do what you need to do.
So let me ask you something then now. So you remember the first official? No, remember go to the 77 Colts season when we reached Colts finals. You remember that season? You remember the finals that we played? You remember any other match? You remember some of the money we play with? And were you surprised?
Was that the matchup at JC? Because certain things are kind of foggy for me with, I guess because I played so many
cricket match
seasons.
Well, Kraken remind me, say, for tell you, say, that was the match at JC we play, at the last match of the season. If we win it, we'd have the finals, and it took the first 6 wickets. And then now, with him couldn't get there at 4, and him get the ball. Yeah. Remind us of what happened then, because,
Right. That was a very interesting match. And I remember I think even the principal there, his name is, I think, Wayne Robinson. They call him Crime Stop from UW. He was playing that match, because I remember him, because I remember him from Taylor Hall. Yeah.
You keep telling me that he played games against Meadowbrook, but I didn't know he played that time.
Yes. He had, you know how we change as we get older. He had much more here, right? And
Taylor Hall, Dougie, Crime Stop, Taylor Hall.
They were in Taylor Hall too, but he had a lot of hair, so did I, because I'm losing my hair. You know, everything we have in life, we end up losing it at some point. So he was on that side. I remember him so well. So when Kraken gave me the ball, I told the umpire that I'm going to say something to the batsman. He says, "What is it?" So I told the batsman that I'm going to fool him with the trajectory of this ball that I'm going to deliver. Both the batsman looked at me like I was crazy, and the umpire. So I delivered the first ball, and I think he just edged it to one of the guys in slips, I think Ian Chong. And the next ball, LBW. The next ball, I think I bowled that guy, and then the next ball was another catch. So it was 4 runs for 4 wickets, and everybody left that match so jubilant. When I went back to Meadowbrook, Mr. Top said to me, "Doug, Mr. Crooks, I didn't know you could bowl." I said, "I didn't know either, sir." But evidently I can. So it was interesting, and that was a very memorable match, because we all went home on a high. Remember, we all feel nice.
It was a memorable season, because the first time we reached the finals in a big competition, and that team that reached the finals, and we played Tivoli Garden. You don't remember the finals?
No.
You blank.
So what did happen? Yeah. Too many cricket matches. It's just because I was playing
the finals, you know, and I don't know if you'd come now with dengue. And Becky, I remind me when him talk 2 weeks ago, say, I remember Jiva did have dengue.
I had dengue too. I remember that.
Right. So you probably was one of the man who have dengue too. And
right.
Becky say, "Marks your extension from Eastern," and tell him no. So we going out a match at depleted resources, and it's like, yeah, I agree with him. It's like it's a take out the match from him before we even start. So that is why. Because all these years, I think said we just override, and maybe we were a little.
Right.
But we never have a chance, because if you remember you have dengue, that's why I don't remember the finals, okay? That's why I don't remember the finals at all.
Right. Because Mr. Griffiths was, I think, at the school at the time, right?
Yeah, Mr. Griffiths was at the school, but Becky was the coach. Mr. Becky was the official coach, right?
Yeah. Because I remember Mr. Griffiths saying to me, the dengue is going to make you weak, and it's going to take a while to come out of your system, which was very true.
Yeah, and it apparently most of it have dengue. I don't remember having dengue. I remember I played the match. I remember the match well. I remember the match on a kid. You probably never even show up for the match, because I don't remember it at all.
No, I don't remember it at all. Maybe the dengue. Maybe if I did play, the dengue erased my memory.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So coming along then now, you play. I mean, I would start about cricket alone because more than cricket you do a Meadowbrook. What about
Right.
memories there? Coming along now, but cricket I remember me the love say your bat. Me can't stop talking about that and me admire how your bat and all. And then me one. People say your bat and I
Right.
say rated. So what match you remember the most? Give me some of the match where you remember the most. Or the innings them where you
Calabar.
play. The innings them where you play. When you are
Right. So
play.
Calabar. Right. So Calabar, I remember playing a match against Calabar, but see, I had a little bit of a problem, and I figured out. It took me about 4 years at Meadowbrook to figure out what was happening to me. And what was happening is my eyesight was not at 20/20 vision. So on a good bright day, Hitchcock and Jelly, what would happen is that I could see okay. If the sunlight wasn't up, no pun on words here, if the sunlight wasn't up for the sunlight matches, I had difficulty picking up the line of the ball. So eventually what happened, I had to start wearing glasses. And I believe that was the reason why I had such difficulty with my schoolwork, because I was not seeing as good as I should. And if your eyesight or your hearing is not dead on, as parents, we have to pay attention to that. I'm not saying that my parents never pay attention, it's that I didn't know what proper sight was till I started wearing the glasses. So now that cricket match down at Meadowbrook, we were at Bottom Field, we were playing Calabar.
And this is a sunlight match.
This is a sunlight match.
And what farm you know? What farm you know this time, you know? What year?
I'm in second form.
Second farm.
And
yeah.
I have a bowler coming from Calabar. So you have Tito, because remember I played Sunlight with Tito and Ray Boy.
Mm-hmm.
And so Tito was the captain. I think it was his last year at Meadowbrook,
Yeah,
and he
Tito
was
in
the
upper
captain.
six, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I am batting down at the end by the gully, the end closest to the gully. And the pace bowler from Calabar, their number one bowler, and he's coming at me, and every ball he bowls to me, I am just dispatching it. And Tito then puts me in a very embarrassing position, because then he starts to mouth out. And, you know, Tito had a very powerful, thunderous voice, because he was that JDF training master after he left.
Yeah.
And he went to be the training master up at Newcastle after he left, when he went into the JDF. And so he was mouthing off that bowler. I remember him so well. From Calabar, their top bowler. And he was saying, yes. I never want to call him name, but he was mouthing him off so bad.
What name?
Yeah, man.
DT, yeah.
And
exactly.
Exactly, Hitchcock. But what happened is every time he bowls to me, I was just flicking him off the pad, just decimating him. And the more I did that, is the more Tito would just rib him, to the point where he was so angry at me. I subsequently learned that when he came to Meadowbrook, he says, "Doug, I was carrying feelings for you." So where you want to lick me down? I lick you. He say, "Yeah, man, Tito set you up, Doug. Tito did a boost up yourself, and then me want to lick you down." And I'm saying, poor me, not knowing what is going on. All I doing is just playing the ball and its merit. But Tito was just tearing him apart. And I remember that match so well. And the Calabar guys were very, because as a left-hander, you're very disruptive to the team in terms of not your behavior, but, the team has to switch around
the
for a
line of the
left-hander.
bowling, yeah.
And it's difficult to bowl to a left-hander.
When most of the batsmen are right-handed, yes.
Exactly. So and then, and at the time. So that was a very memorable match for me. And then a match we played at Trenchtown, where Mark Elliott came from Calabar. And I guess I was skying a few of the balls from the Trenchtown. I think he and I knocked off the runs. And he was saying, "Doug, are you seeing the ball?" And I was just kind of like saying to him, "Hey, man, you defend your wicket and I'll defend mine. And I'm going to hit the ball wherever I feel like, as long as it doesn't get in somebody's hand,
Mm-hmm.
So So I had a good time with the cricket. Ray Boy was very supportive of me. He um, encouraged me. I remember one match that stands out very clear in my mind. I cried. I cried 2 times down at bottom field. I cried when my neighbor from JC took the ball. It was the last over of the match, and I hit the ball and I got caught. And I was the last. If I had just kept and not lost my wicket, Meadowbrook would have um, moved on to the next round. And I cried, and I remember Ray Boy coming out to me and saying, "Doug, don't cry, because look at these big men in terms of the schoolboys. You're playing with big guys. You're in second form, and you're playing with big fifth, sixth formers who should have kept their wicket. And hold up Meadowbrook to the point where we almost beat these guys, but I couldn't accept it, and I cried. And I remember him hugging me and saying, "Doug, don't worry about it." To this day, I remember that. To this day.
Well, let me ask you something, Dougie, and it just come to me, and it might look like a googly me a bore you, or a difficult question.
Yeah, I'm going to have to chip down the wicket for that.
Yeah, well, let's see. Because this is a tricky question. Because based on the ability where you have when you come into the school, and how you talk and I listen to you, it never sounded like you were coachable in terms of say, did you listen to any coach at all? Because I said you're the man attack.
No, yeah, too erratic. So let me tell you something that has plagued me to this day in my life. Remember when Mr. Here came, Freddie and Jelly, he put a level of discipline into the school that catapulted the team to
A different
win.
level.
Yes. And he told me something that to this day resonate with me, and I wish I had listened to him more. I remember batting up on the concrete pitch up at the top field, and he said to me, "Doug, you're hitting the ball too hard, and you're hitting it in a way that is dangerous." And so I said to him, "Well, what do you mean by that?" So he said, "Doug, here's where problem that you have. You have the wrong temperament. You're too aggressive, and at this rate, you're not going to show enough runs to match what we think is your natural ability. And therefore, I want you to hit the first 20 runs in ones and twos." And he says, if you don't change your temperament, you will not be great at this thing. And to this day, I wish I had listened to him more and had more patience. But maybe if I wanted patience, I should be a doctor. So, but I don't have patience, and I learned patience over time. But those pieces of advice that he gave me were so true. And I remember the dread would get very upset with me when I would get out, and he says, "Doug, why are you not doing what I tell you?" But I was just too aggressive, and I was too tempted to make shots because I just felt like, it's an adrenaline rush when you can hit that ball.
So your answer then is like, because you did so good, it's almost like you're uncoachable.
Yeah, it was a situation where I'm just gonna entertain whoever is out there. Remember, we had that man, and he would come up and comment like he was at Caymanas Park. He was like,
yeah, man, the man that said Larry that the commentator, yes, the ball commentary, yes.
And so I just felt that my job was to entertain rather than to score runs for, because the girls used to come down to, and watch me play cricket. Although I wasn't paying a lot of attention, but there were a couple of girls that I would see coming down, and I'm like, who are they coming down to see? Is it my aggressive batting, or is it Jelly or Hitchcock them coming?
No, sir, I'm not playing them down there. Are you are the girl them sugar from them down there? Can't stay there.
No, I don't know who they were coming to, but there was a following there. Yes, Hitchcock.
Hitchcock, sir?
What happened is, Dougie used to get the most good starts.
Yeah, the first 20 or 30 runs. Yeah.
It was upset because it's saying that if you can get the good start and you don't follow through.
There you go.
One of the things he would say to me is that he will be more upset with you if you make 49 than if you make 10.
Oh yeah, because it's the
when
way how you make
you're
it.
supposed to make 50.
Yes,
Make
yes,
50 is supposed to
yeah,
pay for 100.
yes,
Don't
yes.
go to that.
Yeah.
But
Because
the thing is, Hitchcock, I wish I had listened to him more because he was a very smart guy, and he was very it's someone who you could trust because he was someone that would get down to your level and talk to you in a manner that you feel like he was looking out for your interest, right?
Exactly.
And just looking at the car he drove, you would say to yourself, this man has to be a roots man. You understand me? With the VW. And so I wish I had listened to him more because he told me this. He says, Doug, if I were to look at 10 schoolboys who play sunlight cricket, who are very good and just have natural talent, you would be definitely in the first 10. But he said, if I were to look at runs scored, you are nowhere because of your temperament. Can you believe that?
Because
But I just want to entertain everybody and tear up everything.
that first over down at Bumpur against Percy, I think he made something like 18 or 20 out of that over.
Yeah, but you remember the 2-6. You remember the 2-6, them look have a Percy. Yeah.
I don't know who
Percy was probably the top. Percy
he
was the top fastball schoolboy at that time. Yeah.
Percy Thomas. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Let me tell you what I remember. All I remember is him coming from the school side. We were playing on a field close to our primary school, and I was batting with my grey neck. And I just remember picking up the line of that ball really quickly. And the next thing I know, I just followed through and I see it going over the fence. And I see him looking at me like, what the hell just happened? Here you go. And then everybody on the side of the field, my Meadowbrook guys, it was a big laughing. So can you imagine now? That just destroyed that team. That's why we were going to win, because he's one of their best bowlers, and this is how you choose to deal with. Mr. Here probably was mad with me for making that shot, but it destroyed that team, didn't it?
It would have, Dougie, but just imagine, if you'd have the temperament where a Brian Lara have, and I can't compare it to him, if you never have him temperament, because he would love bat, and if he can make 400 a couple of times, you can know same out there for the long. If you never have a temperament, man, and your eyes never start give way, like you got eyes.
Yes, I had a problem.
Follow me, right? Because that in a sense that turn you away from
it messes you up.
Yeah.
And it caused me to lose. Remember, then I did lose that match for them when the guy hit the ball to me and I pushed it for 6.
Try to catch it, but then I asked the ball. I remember that the ball's kind of the ear and.
That's right. See, what happened is when you're wearing glasses in those days, we were not properly equipped to hold that glasses on. I was using like rubber band and all them things for hold that glasses on the back of your head.
So did the glasses help though with your eyesight? Your glasses make you realize you never really see at all?
It helped, but what happened is I picked that up too late. And then I sometimes would not want to play in it because it would get foggy. Was very difficult to play in glasses, and was just a pain in the butt, and contact lens was something out. So it helped to diminish the results that I put out based on that, and then coupled with the inclination to want, the inclination to want to please the water commission man them, because the water commission guys used to spur me on by saying, Doug, let us see some shots. And then Mr. Hero would say, Doug, I'm the coach, not those men. You understand?
So, Doug, you realize what I'm Freddie? Doug, you never leave Dougie over,
That's right.
Never leave Dougie over, because it still takes him up a Burbank, I entertain and I broke glass. And I'm not realizing a competitive cricket to my play, I have a goal, you have to make a certain amount of runs, I have to
right. I'm playing sunlight cricket with backyard mentality.
Yeah. I'm saying when the dread can't change you, I'm making adjust something wrong.
Yeah. But at the first I recognize this doing a doggy. Come now as I want to say, you tell me about your glasses and your eyesight. I know you lit the nail on it, It's like your temperament, and because in a sense, And that's the problem sometimes, you know, when you develop your talent too early sometimes, you know. You get so arrogant in a sense. It's like
Oh yeah.
you become
Yeah.
uncoachable. You become
Right.
uncoachable.
Yeah, because what happened is shots that would take a third former a long time to make. Because I was playing, and I'm not saying I'm the greatest cricketer. Don't get that.
No,
What
I
I'm saying
understand,
is
yeah.
I was exposed to a lot of cricket and a lot of different types of cricket. And therefore, because I was playing with my dad with the Corrigan cricket and the intergovernment, whatever, and then playing on the at the home, and then with the Colts and what it is you get too confident, and your goal is to please the spectator and not play towards
Yeah, me
yeah.
understand. Me make a comparison if you understand.
It's gratification for the people watching
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
versus paying there.
The man we talked to last week at the direct opposite of you. John Muir was a late bloomer. And when John Muir leaves school, John Muir blossomed into a world-class sprinter. And
I did not even know he went to, is my wife telling me he was an Olympian. I did not know
Meadowbrook
that.
only Olympian. Meadowbrook's only Olympian so far.
Wow.
And not in a twirling or sky jumping. the premier event in a world sports, the 100 meter, there was at the 88 Olympics, doggy, with Ben Johnson, with the Panda relay team there. And when you listen to him story, you know, but why may I bring up him name, you know? Apart from the fact that him to me are the biggest star Meadowbrook ever produced, enough man I know him story, is that film stories is almost a contrast to yours in terms of say development. Because John never when he got champs at Meadowbrook, he never win a point or nothing.
I don't remember him being a runner at Meadowbrook. I remember him and I'm like, that guy can't run. Well, he certainly proved me wrong.
No, I just show you know, so him blossom late. And him blossom good in terms of if he become an Olympian, we are world class athlete, you must know say and then because I do it most of the time without coaching, you know. Most of the time myself coach himself. But him blossom late. Yeah man. That's a powerful story. When you get a chance to listen, you go back and listen, doggy. But yeah.
Oh, because remember, Jelly, remind you that at one point, his reaction time was the second best in the world.
Really?
Right, we never talk about that last week, right? Freddie, remind me about that afterwards. It was good. What you see, why I bring it up and I compare to you, know, Doug, is that you came a Meadowbrook up from Doug's Oval, and it's like you bounded a bat in a hand.
Yes.
When John come a Meadowbrook, he never knew him could run until he beat our Thomas.
Yeah.
You follow me? I said, and then take it up, and then but I beat the man. The fact, I want Thomas to win champs the year before and beat up everybody in Jamaica, a champs, and if it never lose his mind at all, man. It never leave his mind. If him can beat the man who beat everybody else in Jamaica, him can represent Jamaica, and him improve it, doggy.
Yeah. Well, it's maturity, you know. Maturity as you get more mature, sometimes you need to take that path versus if you're so skillful at something, you take it for granted.
Yeah,
versus
man, it
came naturally to me. Yeah.
To be successful in a life or sports, you need the discipline. I need a little talent, and sometimes I think the discipline go further than the talent.
Absolutely. I learned that skill later in my life. I learned patience from my wife. I learned patience that if you don't have the sit on your hands, then, you know, I was so impatient that I used to grow corn in my backyard. And my mom said to me, "Dog, plant the corn and dig up the corn in 3 days or a week because them don't see the corn growing." So I think from I was small, I just had that, I need it now, I need it to work now, the corn not growing, where the hell is the corn? Go dig it up.
I hear. So,
but it did good for me in certain things, and it did bad for me in certain things. In terms of being a go-getter,
you need it's a nice blend of both, doggy, and it's a hard thing to reach for both, because some talent is something you're born with, you know, and you can develop it depending on the amount of talent you have, because sometimes it doesn't have the talent to play certain sports. You had it to play a certain sport, and then, but so let me ask you this. But kind
I
of
think
listen.
I wasted that talent, to be honest.
Oh
I think I wasted.
yeah. I agree with that. But kind of listen to the
Mm.
coach. The coach.
No,
That's why I asked you
no,
the question.
exactly.
That's why I asked you the
Yeah,
question because if you
yeah.
did ever listen to Mr. Ear and him turn into and your eyesight never go, trust me. You know,
Things would have happened
it's
for
that be a
me.
different. You'd have maybe play for the 1981 Sunlight Cup team when me did captain and probably would have go further. Would have missed the finals by 1 point. But by the time the
Yeah,
eyesight it gets somebody, interested in that cricket no more. So let me
yeah,
ask you something.
yeah. I developed some serious
So
myopia.
Freddie, did he play upon the 1980 team of the semifinals against KC? Was Doug
Yes, Doug started to train, but he didn't play the scene. But he was with us when we start.
Yeah,
So he
yeah,
lose
yeah.
interest from them time the Doug I just lose
Yeah,
interest in
so let
again.
me tell you what happened. I think what happened is after I dropped that catch, 'cause I remember Mr. Barnes was a very militant guy when he set up that pitch and put the ashes on it
That's
and
a Reds
thing.
attack. Yeah.
Yeah, Red. So what happened is after I dropped that catch, I think I felt like again I failed and I needed to go into the earth.
Oh, like
And
when
I
before you come
remember
on Meadowbrook and take it come on entrance.
Yes,
That's what I mean.
yes, and I remember Mr. Barnes cussing me, saying how he prepared the pitch for me, and how me let down the team, and what's it not. Him
Yeah.
start redefining a whole heap of language to me,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
me just said to myself, this is my last day of playing cricket, and that was kind of, you know,
Oh,
something there. And then I had that situation with one of the teachers where we were playing down at bottom field and I was hitting the ball all around, and he asked me to not do that. And I don't know if he said something that didn't sounded right to me, but I just put down the bat and then left. And of course, Jago was now ribbing me on, saying, "Hey, you dummy, what are you doing?" And I guess the teacher was also insinuating that I was stupid to be hitting the ball like that. But we're playing cricket,
I,
and you can't, two people can't occupy the same
you
field
know,
at the same
I remember
time.
the incident then, Doug. You talk
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
Mm.
Who was it again? It was Mr.
He-
Phillips?
I don't remember what his name was. He was an expatriate teacher. And as a result of that
Oh,
situation, he reported me to, I think it was Dr. Morris or Mrs. Morris. And I believe that factored into me not getting the head boy's position at Meadowbrook.
I remember the incident, the good Doug as you talk. Yeah,
Mm.
bullet the ball.
yeah, just came back. Yeah.
Just
Oh,
as you
yeah.
talk about it, you never know, you put on the bat and you just walk off of the field.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
And he didn't like it. And I remember I was the deputy head boy, and I said to myself, well, how come I didn't get this? And I believe again, that little temperament thing, I didn't defile myself by saying anything to him. I guess I just put down the bat in defiance and left. And that was viewed as something that maybe should have been handled differently. And you're a youngster, and it's and some of these expatriate teachers would also be less than maybe, they were sometimes
Them don't know for
just
talk to
different.
people. Them don't know for talk to people, Doug. Because
Yeah, so
I remember, and you probably remember this too. Say when me
yeah,
at
when
first
he pull
farm,
pull your ears. Yeah.
but tell each couple of that because I talk about the people think I make it up there at it.
Yeah, he grabbed onto your lower lobe and started pulling you, and you were like a tiger, and you told him what to do. And he didn't like it. And we were all looking on saying, thank God Jelly stood up for himself and for us, because that son of a gun.
Yeah, must be take a set power man. I'm gonna lace him up, Freddie. Mr. Griffiths, but me and him done good for yeah, go ahead,
Griffiths?
Freddie.
Who was it? Which teacher that?
Mr. Griffiths. When I first farm.
I don't have him. I don't know him.
No. Never. I mean, in the picture of the sunlight, the cold steam, and the first, either the first or the second lesson, and the man I pull on my ears, and
Yeah.
Dougie said me did angry, but
Yeah, you were angry. You were like, man, when you were going to school, sometimes I say, well, Jelly's like, he's angry. I remember you playing football and you were such a good kicker of the ball. And I'm like, oh, wow, he's angry.
no, that
Yeah,
I don't unnecessarily angry. That was my only weapon, because I couldn't fight. My mouth was my weapon, so.
right. I remember you put him in his place and we were all like, they're going to expel him. Yeah. Yeah. That's what we thought, because I remember the day it was right on bottom field
Yeah.
there, and I'm like, this is not good.
Yet,
But
but him never talk or nothing with it. If nothing else ever come up at all about it, dog, he must learn him lesson.
well, here's what it is. He should not, because you don't know pulling someone's body part, no matter what body part it is, you don't know if that part is giving a problem,
But
and people can have
but
issues with their
but that's
ear.
exactly
Uh,
right. That's exactly
And
right, doggy. Because all my life, even today, I've always had a problem with my left ear.
yes,
I don't hear well out of my left ear at all. When people use the phone at them left ear, I don't hear so well out of me. It's me right all my life, doggy. And the man probably got pull on because I had a ear infection when I was young. Like you. Yeah.
yes,
You follow me, I said, and the man got pull on for me ear, Freddy. It was like
yes,
a,
like a time bomb.
a visceral reaction, Freddy. Like me, I said, the man I pulled my life. Because my ears used to pain me and all of me. I said, well, I never say what I say on this program here. Because man can't imagine.
Yeah, you did redefine some English language for him for sure.
And I remember the man turned pink the day,
Yes,
doggy,
yeah.
but me never know so look on and say, boy, jealous son. Because maybe me take a set pan way after that. If me never stand up for it, me never,
I think, I think he reassessed
the temperament, the
yes,
terrain, and I
yes,
say, okay, we
yeah,
can't necessarily come to
yes,
this with them little youth,
right.
you know,
Because
first.
he knew that he should not have put his hands on you.
Yeah,
That was
exactly.
crossing the line,
Yeah,
you know?
him not supposed to touch when I come home. Whatever me I do, him not supposed to draw me ears and all of them. I say, yo.
Right, right. When you put him in place properly. But we were scared for you. We thought they were gonna expel you.
That never crossed my mind at all. My father give me a bus ass when I come home. Because the last time my father give me a bus ass, I cuss see me. Because, yeah, I was
Yeah,
very liberal with them languages. So, yeah, and that, yeah.
I remember.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah,
remember
yeah.
you. Mm.
So you never play in the 80 semi-final when you play on a team that all because you literally, in a sense, then now your confidence gone again and you're back to your days where you think, say, you're not good enough.
That is correct. It was, and it transitioned over into my A levels because I just was not focusing on things that I should. And you know what it is, some small things can throw you off, and you have to make sure that you are focused. And as I said, I always seem to start from behind, and then I get to a certain level and then might falter a little bit, and then it propels me to even go further and do better. And that's what it was, because I didn't do well in my A levels. I only got one, and and it
But
was it was another.
you did good enough in that O level for got six farm.
Yes, my O levels were quite good, and I was kind of conflicted because Janet Scott got four A's and four B's, and then I had got like four B's, two C's, and an A, and
Them time
she went to Campion, and I was conflicted whether or not I should go to Calabar because we were just trying to figure out if Meadowbrook had A-level curriculum that would guarantee success, and I decided to stay at Meadowbrook. And I mean, I'm very happy that I went to Meadowbrook, even if I didn't academically do great in my A levels. I did good in my O levels. Um, I love Meadowbrook, and I'm glad for all the relationships I made at Meadowbrook, include meeting my wife at Meadowbrook, and things that were said to me at Meadowbrook have helped to shape my life.
well,
By young ladies there too.
well, talk about some of them things that will shape your life then a matter, bro. Because since you bring up that, some of the things that will shape your life and then you can go into some of the fun things. But talk about some of the things that will, some of my teacher them will inspire you and some of the things that will shape your life in a time of Meadowbrook.
So what happens is when I was going to Meadowbrook, one of the things that I don't know whether I was just the way how I thought about teachers, but one of the things I wanted to mention here is love. And so love at Meadowbrook was a very interesting phenomenon for me because the price of love can be eventually pain, whether relationship loss of a loved one, whatever it is. And a goodly doctor who writes in the Jamaica paper wrote an article about it, about the different types of love. And so you have ludus, which is playful love. You have mania, which is obsessive. Agape, which is unconditional love. You have eros, which is physical, passionate love. And then you have infatuation. When I was going to Meadowbrook, I used to want to please certain teachers. So I remember like Miss Nugent, Miss Riley, who taught me biology. I would study my lesson because I thought I was in love with them. I swear. And me studying the biology or whatever, Miss Nugent used to teach science. She drive that orange VW 1302 SR, whatever it was. And I would study so that I thought they would like me more because I liked them. And it caused me to study certain things so hard. And I'm sure you remember another biology teacher that they had at Meadowbrook, and the young men in her class would study and want to go into that class to study biology. And for me, certain teachers were just like, you just held them in a certain regard and you wanted to please them because you thought you were potentially in love with them. At least I thought I was.
Yeah, that crush on them.
Yeah, this infatuation, and you just say to yourself, "Am I crazy?" But this is now where you're now learning to bloom, and you're coming into you're in your teens, and you start to think. And who's to say, is it love sickness or is it puppy love? So, because the first girlfriend that you have is your mother. The first girlfriend that all of us have is our mother, and if you were lucky enough or blessed enough to have her in your life, she's your first girlfriend. And then after that, you start looking now for little qualities like that, or and then you start to say, hey, is this somebody that I love, or is this infatuation? So I tried to please the teachers. By Mrs. Gooden was another one. She did geography, and I just looked. I didn't try to do the male teachers because I didn't really care about that side. But just you know, nothing wrong with that side if you like that side. But for me, I was just infatuated with those teachers. Mrs. Leo Riney, I think, was there, but she had left. But
Yes,
and then
yeah.
And then Miss Cova. Oh, I loved her.
Yeah, man,
so
she can teach English.
Yes, and
Yeah,
and
man,
Mrs. Williams. So I have all these pictures in my mind of these teachers, and I would just study my lessons so hard to please them because I love them in my own stupid mind. You know, my adolescent mind growing up as a 15, 16-year-old.
Yeah, go ahead, Freddie.
Yeah.
Freddie? Me not hear you. Where mic then? Me not hear you. I want the mic.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
So basically, I mean, Meadowbrook, a lot of unrequited love, love where you think you love someone and they don't love you back. And as them say, is it puppy love? Is it, one-sided? And I remember one young lady telling me that I was going to make a lousy husband. And to this day, that statement has stayed with me, and I have used it as a guidance for trying to be a good husband and a good partner to my wife, so that I'm not a lousy husband. I don't know why she said it to me, whether it was she was more advanced than I was or whatever. She did love me. I never.
But she wanted you at her husband, so she'll try to get to the competition in her mind. So
exactly. So she sat right beside me, and I'm looking at her right now, and maybe she was thinking unrequited love, because she's saying, well, I like Doug, but Doug is not reciprocating. And she said, I'm going to make a lousy husband. It was so shocking to hear it. And to this day, I prove her wrong that I'm not a lousy husband, if anybody asks my wife. And she gave me great advice.
How old was at the time?
We were in third form. So I was 15.
And that have an effect on you where I think, and I say, you still remember that thing. So
Yes,
yeah.
because I remember a lot of relationships. If you look at Meadowbrook and what happened at that school, many couples and marriages resulted from Meadowbrook.
Yeah.
You understand me?
Yeah. Freddie, you there?
Many.
Yeah, man, yeah, man.
Oh, because your voice is go a while ago. You have a question for you ask?
Yeah.
No. You know, say somebody called from another phone.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dougie.
So what I was saying is many couples, many people got married from Meadowbrook based on their relationships at Meadowbrook that started, including myself. I married a Meadowbrook chick, and many couples, probably 6 to 12,
Well, you know of.
resulted from, yes, that I know of, that
True.
resulted from that relationship. That's why I would, even though I failed my common entrance and I talk about it and it helped to propel me, because failure is good for you sometimes to make you learn from it and step forward. The thing is that dealing with the young ladies at Meadowbrook and learning, and some of them were more advanced than us, like myself, and you learn how to interact with the smarter ladies. Females are smarter than males, I will give them that. And they develop quicker, there is no doubt. And I learned how to deal with the girls, and I never regretted that going to a co-ed school. In fact, the days of bottom field, let's talk about bottom field.
Oh, yeah,
remember the dam used to overflow down at bottom field?
Yeah, man.
So when we were at Meadowbrook's pitch down there was one of the most lush in Kingston, because Reds used to shunt the water using some concrete.
You usually dam it. Make sure the water runs. Yeah.
Put some concrete block and push the water into the field to keep it lush and green.
Yeah.
And when we finish playing the field hockey and the football and the soccer, whatever down there, we used to make it 500 yards up to the dam that was overflowing.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you, those are some of the most beautiful days in my life, because nobody was naked up there, but everybody got a wash off on that. So who wearing them bloomers and them who wearing them father this and them father that, or them mother this or them mother that, and in shorts. And I go up there and I said to myself, boy, I never know a curved surface can be so pretty. Remember, you know, God is good, you know, because anything that is curved, you know, when pull your eye, anything curved, anything curved, front or back, curvature, is curved, so you're going to find it. That's how it works. And I'm telling you, when that water hit everybody, and we're all so innocent growing up, and I look on that and I say, man.
Yeah, man, boys and girls, everybody go up on the tank, man, and everybody have a nice
but nobody took off their clothes. It was
it was not explicit like that, Dougie, but you're right.
Exactly. But it was a redefinition of a wet bloomer contest, or a wet shirt, or a wet pants, or a wet t-shirt. Now, the problem I have now is that my pants wet up. I cannot go home to my home because my father is going to create ruckus for me. Mm-hmm. And I have to sit on the hot concrete down there after to dry off my pants, because if I go home and he sees me in a wet pants, he's going to say I went to someone's pool. And I don't want him come down Meadowbrook and turn off the dam, because he was working in hydraulics at the time at KCC. And if him turn off the dam, now there's no washing with the
females. All the fun would have done. Yes. Yeah.
All the fun would have done. So I don't want him coming in to come shut down the dam. Mm-hmm. And I just wait till my pants dry and then I go home. But those were some of the most fun times that we had as male and female.
Yeah, I remember them first. After a while, the dam. Because Freddie, when you come to school.
No, they didn't work with me.
Yeah, because at the first, up to third farm, I remember that, Dougie. Especially we're going to a bottom feed, man. The dam regularly 2-3 times a week, man. The dam, I don't know what cause it, because I used to rain a lot still on a bottom field, you know. And maybe the dam was taking water, or the tank was taking water from some river higher up, and it overflow.
Yeah, they had a well. They had a well down at Chancery Street there, and I think it would pump it up there. And I guess when the rainfall becomes heavy, it just got to the point where the reservoir couldn't hold it anymore, so they would just offload it. And that's one of the reasons why Meadowbrook's field was so lush and pretty. Yeah, Mr. Barnes, may so rest in peace. That man did such a wonderful job of that.
Yes. So again, don't give me for compare with John. There's sound like John now, because John said this is one of the reasons I love Meadowbrook. The girls on the grounds. He said, but at the netball, we sit on the plum tree at the netball court, and just watch the girls them. Just if never have the fun at the pool or the water tank, like you.
Oh yeah, those were great days for me, boy. Those curves were just amazing. I learned geometry, pi r squared. I learned about curves. Yeah.
Okay, you don't want to say a comedian, man.
I don't know. All I know is that those were the best times of my life. And if it's my common entrance fail and cause me to go to Meadowbrook, listen. If somebody said give your younger self some advice, I would go right back to Meadowbrook again.
Yeah,
right back.
That experience at Dougie, I wouldn't change that to nothing at all. I agree with you. That experience.
And if you think about it, let us be honest, Mr. Thorpe and Miss McLennan, they were the backbone of the school as I know it. And Miss McLennan I used to go around to her home and carry these envelopes for my dad. And I was always afraid of her saying, what is my dad sending me around her home to deliver these envelopes?
No, she lived on which street? She have a cool shade.
Cool shade.
And
that's when, yes, and that's when I think she was related to Inga Walker, or I believe she was related to them, because I saw her there and she says,
her niece, yeah.
There you go. So my dad is Cuban. My dad was born in Cuba, and the family. So what happens is because she went to school with my dad's sister, my aunt. She did.
That's Miss McLennan.
Yes, Mrs.
Your father from St. Mary.
Yes, but he was born in Cuba.
Yeah, and but so Miss McLennan from St. Mary too, you know.
Really, and my dad grew up down in St. Mary. I
tried to tell me that. Christopher tried to tell me that connection. That is why. Yeah. But go ahead. Sorry.
No. So my dad was down in some place called Lewis Store in St. Mary, but he was born in Cuba, so they have to convert their birth certificate to English. And Miss McLennan, being a Spanish guru, that's what she was doing. So I didn't know that she knew my family so well. And it was something she said, something always that to this day I remember she used to say, play up and play
the game. I remember that, man.
I used to say to myself, what the heck is she talking about? What game are we playing? Because I don't see any game here. And Mr. Gooden is not playing any game here. He's so strict. And she used to just say, you know how she used to close her eyes, very dramatic. Play up, and play the game.
I remember that same man. Yeah.
Yes. And I learned in life that this life is a game, and you have to know how to play it, because it is not exactly as you think it is, and it's a game out there that you have to master relationships, master how you interact with people, and how sometimes you have to cut off people, because if you leave them to their ways, they will want to play the game their way and take away the ball from you when you need to play it. You get it? So that advice that she gave was resonating, and it is so fitting to today. Play up, and play.
Yeah, you're right. The more is it. May I ask you something though, because through many that I see him, you go ask me about the same way. I say if you remember some I teacher them, I just called some name. From First Farm now, Mrs. Fidget.
Oh yeah. E flat and E flat. And she was something else. I didn't really take to music, because I guess if you couldn't play the piano for her, you were a loser, and she was a teacher of a different caliber. How was that?
Yeah, music and she gotta teach speech. She gotta teach speech.
Yes,
Speech
yes,
and
yes,
music. She
yes.
gotta make you roll off
Yeah.
your speech and all
If you
that.
didn't know your E flat and your D flat, you weren't saying anything to her.
I don't even today, this day I have a clue she that about the E flat.
Oh yeah, yeah. I just didn't like music because of her, to be honest. You know.
Speech I didn't love. I memorized one speech. I repeat it every year, and every year she asked me, Freddie, call me this, memorize something about Barbados. And every
Oh
time,
really?
yeah, man, every term, she have to give the speech, and I same teach me I give her, And if it's fidget done, she give me an ear and she look and say, are you from Barbados?
It's like, yes, you must say, I'm Bajan. I'm Bajan. What do you mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah, go ahead, Freddie.
I said Miriam's top brought her to Meadowbrook. He's from Barbados too.
No, I don't think she was from Barbados, doggy.
I don't know, but he was from Barbados.
Yeah, he was from Barbados. No, I don't think she was from Barbados. Fred, I don't know where she was from. I don't know where she was from.
She was from a music universe.
Yeah. You remember Mr. Robin Grant?
I do remember him. He was a very suggestive teacher. Remember? He would say things that would be like...
Yeah.
You know him, Freddie?
Yeah, man, he's a teacher, what? RE?
Yeah, man, religious
education. Yes, he was a scholar, you know that, right? He was a high scholar.
I met a cold boy, I think, too, you know.
He was. Yeah, man, he would say things that would just sound so ambivalent.
He said have a double entendre on words.
Yeah, man. It's like he would say some things and he would say...
What I mean? And him a smile, have a smirky smile on him face,
yeah, man, it's sarcastic and it's like I have to do a double take on that.
Yeah.
When you talk about religion, you know, what part are you defining there?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
You remember the art teacher them, Dougie? With that Mrs.
Arboyne?
Mrs. Arboyne, and she married him, Mrs. Lysett afterward. I remember...
Yes.
Did have another art teacher. I want to bring her up, I tell you that story. I remember...
You know, Miss Lysett, school, you know that?
Oh.
It's Lysett.
Still at Meadowbrook?
Yeah, she's back now teaching RE because she used to teach art when I was there.
Oh, but then wow.
She went and opened this place they call Crimson.
I remember she opened the place, yeah.
Art and Fabric.
Art and Fabric, I remember she go home. So she back at Meadowbrook now I teach?
Yeah.
I never know that, Freddie.
Wow.
I knew that, I never know that. She did married me, when we go to school, first time she did teach me art. And she married him, Mrs. Lysett, Dougie. Right, Freddie, right. But you remember that
she was very diminutive, right?
Yeah, she was a short teacher, right. But a nice teacher.
Yeah.
You remember the teacher named and her father was commissioner of police, Miss Bowes?
Bowes. I do remember her.
Do you know her, Freddie?
Yeah, I know her. She's a wear pants, really.
Yeah, there you go. It's funny you say that, Hitchcock, because I would just start looking at her saying, I remember them shaping the pants. Herb. They are squared.
Yo.
And it's like,
I'm going to joke about she, man. I couldn't draw her. Drawing not my strong subject, And she get something for drawing at the art class one day. I'm going to draw it, I'm going to show it to her. She, oh, Mr. Prince, that look good from afar, but it's far from good.
Oh my gosh. And then what did you say then?
I have nothing to say because just like Mr. Grant knows, she'll get a double take.
Yeah.
It's from afar, but it's far from good.
Far from good. She's just being...
She should be diplomatic, because she's making no say need to improve, but at the same time, she's not going to make it us slide.
How did you take that? Did you understand what she was saying, or are you just kind of like, what are you telling me?
Not right away, doggy. I wouldn't have understood right away. A long afterward, that's why I see could be a long after. I say, she take me down. I mean...
Yeah.
I was a sort of person, but I said, when she said, I try to answer her back. But I didn't understand. Right. It's like, I thought it was a compliment, to tell the truth. It's long afterwards, and I said, okay. She mashed me up bad, that's a Freddie. So, yeah. You remember Miss Peter King?
I do, and she was related to the Manning Cup player. I believe it was her nephew or
John
something.
Peter King, yeah. Some Peter King come. And some brother they come before, Marshall Peter King.
Right. She used to teach... I used to do a lot of reading in 3C. Myself and Richard Cardoza did a lot of reading, and it was very funny. On Friday evenings, we would play different characters and would end up entertaining the class. And Miss Peterkin was one of the ladies who would say, "You're gonna play that character, you play the other." So it brings the literature to life, you know. I remember her very well. Mr. Gooden was someone that I was afraid of, and I always tried to please him. I remember him telling some young lady that she looked like she was eating chicken. You know, she was eating chicken when you look at her lips. He says, "Why is your lips like that? Did you have too much fried chicken?" And I'm like, what is he talking about? You see, when we're this young, we didn't know that those things were like, what are you doing
exactly
there, sir?
mean?
Is that right? I mean, is it really chicken that she was eating, or, we didn't understand those things, and I would always try to please him also by doing as good as I could in the math and the physics, and then I went into cadet, so as he was a disciplinarian, remember?
So you were a part, I remember that. So you were a part of cadet. Give me a little information about that. So my people remember that.
Oh yeah, I remember cadet getting black polish painted on my face when I went down there. We had these cadet camps. We had it up in the thing, and you stay down there and you sleep down at Meadowbrook. And these guys in the night would come with the polish, the shoe polish, and would put polish on your face at night. So I remember those little things, and the camaraderie and the eating and the cooking and the drilling, and it helps to turn you into a different person, the being exposed to that. I remember that guy from JDF, they used to call him Brook Up, and he would come there and inspect the corps. And Neville Foster, remember, he was the bugler, and it was, those days were really good, and it was very eye-opening to see that level of discipline.
All right, you talk about cooking. Tell me about that boat there where the man them run on a bottom field, and you never experienced them dumpling there yet.
Yeah.
Tell Hitchcock
So let
about
me
that.
tell you, Hitchcock, let me tell you something. I remember him so well. I believe his name, I don't remember his full name, but his name was Ritter. He and I used to open, or he used to come one down, or
Freddie,
whatever.
remember Rita?
No, no.
Rita.
Yeah, Rita and Ronnie and Peggy and all them come there one time. Yeah, man.
They all came together.
And they have a older brother named Salah, yeah.
Uriah Jones.
Yeah, man, them usually live out of Mullines Road, man. A tire shop there, yeah,
Yes,
man. Even
there
from
you
here,
go.
when we have the bus, we used to go out there and see him said way. Yeah, man. But go ahead, yeah.
So what happened is down by the ESO Pavilion, so right behind where the concrete pitch is down there to practice, I guess the day I heard them collecting money for flour, I'm like, what are these guys going to do here? And chicken. And I then make my way into the middle of this journey that they were going through, and I see Rita rubbing up some flour, and a pot is going, a pot is bubbling, and I've never smelt anything like that. I salivated and waited for that food. The thing was so good,
So
smelling.
what was the menu? Tell me the menu.
Dumpling and chicken back. Dumpling and chicken back in a pot there, cooked on the wood or the coal from down there. I lick my fingers and I go home and I tell my mom, I say, Mom, I eat some chicken down there. How come your chicken cannot taste like that? She said, wherever you're coming from, go back down there again, because I can't help you with that. And my dad then said, no. It's because of how they cook it. It's cooked outside on the coal, and that type of maybe coconut oil was used. But I have never tasted food so delicious with those cartmeal dumplings and the chicken back, and Ritter was so good at it. And I remember him, and I just remembered how we had such a good time, and then mix up the sugar and water with lime. And Mr. Barnes was there, and I'm like, what is this? And they had a term for that sugar and water. Wash. There you go. And I learned so much, and it was so enjoyable. It was so enjoyable. I mean...
So the first experience, I want to run a boat then, Dougie.
Yeah. because of that, I try learn for cook, After that,
Yeah.
my father sent me go a Chinese school for learn for cook, on a Mullins Road, And I go in there and some lady said to me, "What's wrong with you? Boys don't cook." And I'm like, "What? What do you
Yeah.
mean boys don't cook?" My father sent me here
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
it was
yeah, yeah.
Chinese cooking, and I did a month there learning how to cook and went and got a wok so I can help myself, because if you're going to criticize cooking or anybody who cooks for you, you should at least have an idea what is going on in the kitchen. So I, from that time, learned to help myself for
No,
sure.
no, man, enough boat we used to run Bank Calvec Avenue. Maybe Fred used to run boat from over you and then I'm about it. Because,
But it's a part or the boat you cook bird.
what do you
Oh
mean?
my God.
No, see the bird,
Nice.
man, cook them right away. It shoot them, man. Shoot them, man.
Over
Cook them.
Francis land.
Francis land, yeah.
Because that's how we used to go run the boat, man. Because the land,
You see where Dougie talk about, It's the
Mm,
same thing I tell people. Say, Meadowbrook is not what it was when we come in. Because when I came in 77, and the same thing John tell you, it was like this uptown school with some pretty people and, and the people who came in, from down,
yes.
like Rita them, as Doug said, them come with a different thing. So it blend into the Meadowbrook thing.
it make Meadowbrook better though,
It
Yeah.
did.
It make Meadowbrook a
It did.
more, yeah.
It did because you see what it did was to let you understand that
It exposed
what
you for one to certain things we never exposed it before, right?
absolutely. Because if you think that your little sphere of influence or who you going with or whatever, what you want to have is a rounded education and a rounded melting pot of people so that you understand everybody and you understand that not everything that you think is a particular way it has to be done that way, because I had never really had food cooked out like that outside, and I can tell you it spurred me to go home and start cook like that.
It a bubble up a pot outside.
Yes
It's the same thing, Jelly. Run by you and then, right now,
Mm-hmm.
when Bonnie, I was, Bonnie
Bunny
Blake.
Blake, yeah, man. Fred,
Every
Dougie know him too, man. Yeah.
yeah.
Friday and Sunday, my have a chef who come by.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
You know,
really?
Robert Ians.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, the cricket up.
Robert don't eat no rice and peas, but cook on stove inside.
Mm.
So from that now, the rice and peas is cooked only on the outside, on the wood fire. Can have a different taste.
Yeah. That's what my dad said.
Dougie wouldn't know.
Until
Yes.
you get exposed to it.
Yeah.
That remind me of the Dougie just today attack. It's like, you remember the jerk chicken man in Reynolds Road?
Yeah, man, the gully fowl. I'm good.
Don't get that.
Yeah, man, the gully fowl, them gully fowl, the nice is a shame.
No, man, the care where we go, man. Me never find jerk chicken sweet like, well, me have a particular man at Reynolds Road near Whitehall, that's how I go to. Well, me I tell it, Freddie. And everybody have their own taste and thing. But yeah. Because when the food cook outside, Freddie, as you say, and I talk about Robert, and it's a special flavor, It's a different sort of flavor than when it a cook on the fire inside,
Oh,
Yes,
definitely.
yes.
And so the blend with Meadowbrook, because even me, when me come Meadowbrook, I was kind of uncomfortable.
Really?
Because when we come and go inside classes, we coming from downtown and thing. When we go in classes, remember my class was the same Cardoza.
Yeah, the C stream, Dougie did go in a A stream in a fourth farm.
Paul,
Yeah.
Lillian, Penelope Latti, Michelle Stewart.
Yes.
Everybody was like uptownish. I
Even
didn't
the
talk a lot.
Meadowbrook.
I hardly say anything. While
Yeah.
Bonnie and the people were just enjoying themselves. I just sit back.
Yes.
And by the time the fifth farm now, I came top of the class.
Mm-hmm.
And in the A stream, I remember I started going at A stream with Oral them, and it was me and Jago as boys were in
I'm beating baby. Dougie, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I went from 3C to 4B to 5A. And I think Hitchcock was doing something just like that too,
I'm,
right?
Yeah.
I'm being it too. I see him.
Yes, but
Yeah.
Beanie was always in the A stream.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm.
I started out in C and went straight to I mean A and go like that. Straight up.
Yeah. But you see what I'm saying is by getting exposed to people like Rita showing you that you can cook outside. I go home now and start knead up dumpling. And I go home now and start say, I want to learn to cook like him. I want the food to taste like what he did. And so that inspired me to learn, hey, how did he put that food together that was so succulent and delicious? Just like that. So that's why a melting pot of a school like that is an amazing thing. And next thing with cricket, I have inhaled some of the most colorful substances down at bottom field playing cricket. And I'm saying to myself, is this secondhand smoke or is this secondhand smoke?
Yeah.
And it is what it is, you know. And so you learn so many different things. And
Yeah, Meadowbrook.
I remember some of the guys, I was scared of them because guys used to have rag in their back pocket, and I used to say, "Hey, what's that?" But then you just know it's just a style, you know, and you learn, and I tell you, it was the best school. After I left Meadowbrook, I mean, it's still a great school. I have to believe it's still a great school, but it was such a wonderful mix of people.
Yeah, man.
And then it started to melt further, more melting to reflect the society. And it was just good.
It was a melting pot. It was a melting pot, Doug. I call Meadowbrook. You come on Meadowbrook, you know, you can't change Meadowbrook, you know. In a sense, during a period that we did there, Meadowbrook redefined them culture in terms of say,
Of course.
which I was Becky talk about when him talk about it a couple weeks ago. It's like the change in that 10 years that we did it, from we got 74 and we leave in the 80s. But that 10-year change from 76 to 86 is like Meadowbrook actually define a culture. I don't think it changed since that time at all. Whereas a nice melting pot and a blend of students from all a wide cross section, and it made the school better. It made the school better. It made the school better. It made the students better.
And as you said, like the Rhodes Scholars that came out of Meadowbrook, and it's like, what? I mean, I didn't even know that like certain professors up at UWI, I think McDonald or whatever, and he is these guys come from Meadowbrook, you know, and it's like, wow. It's just that you learn these things after. A lot of great people have trod through the doors of Meadowbrook, and wonderful people, and that's what they.
For a young
yes,
school,
exactly, and for a school that is so small to have the boys beat out a Calabar or a KC or Stats or whatever, the percentage of.
Well, all right, tell me about that match then, because were you at the finals when no one in 82?
No. I don't remember any of those finals at all. I don't think I was there. I don't think I was at that final.
Okay. So because you kind of lose touch with the cricket and get demotivated.
Yeah, well, because what happened is after I caused them to lose that match, I just
you lose touch.
and then with my eyesight just diminishing, I didn't know that it was a big part of it. Had I spotted that earlier, but because it was so marginal, on a good day, as I said, it wouldn't affect me so bad. But when the light started to diminish, my eyesight went very bad, and then I had to start wearing glasses permanently.
All right, let me ask you something then. What the most embarrassing moment you remember for you? And you can look back now and repeat it with a smile when you go to Meadowbrook.
When I was going to Meadowbrook?
Yeah, man.
I remember almost, which was very embarrassing for me. I remember I almost broke Margaret Jones's hand because we were playing with a tennis ball in the hallway or in the classroom, and I don't know, she put her hand down by my feet and I was just kicking, and I think I almost broke her arm, and I think I got a cane in for that, and she had to have a bandage put on it. So it was super embarrassing for me because I got a cane in from Mr. Thorpe, And you know how he would be like, Mr. Crooks, bend
Bend
over.
over. So we learn from that then in terms of say
I learned to be more gentle.
with
I learned
with the
that
opposite
when you're,
sex.
yes, and when you're dealing with girls, they might not be as careful as you expect them to be, and therefore you have to be careful how you maneuver yourself. Because if they're catching a ball and you think they're catching it and then you kick it, you need to anticipate that they may be, and I learned to be just careful, because had she broken her arm or her hand, it would have been very bad, because it could have affected her um schooling ability to write and that type of thing. So it was very
And what farm you doing at
embarrassing.
that time there? What year that was?
I think third form. I think I was very mischievous at school. Maybe studious, but mischievous to a certain extent. That's what I was told. My good friend Phipps would say, Doug, you're studious, but you gave a lot of trouble. You were mischievous. Yeah. One thing I remember when you asked me about football. Now, Jelly, remember when we played you guys in that finals, 4B versus 4C, and Strudwick and
That's at the
myself,
farm
and
competition, yeah.
yes, and Carl Harris was keeping, and a ball came over, and I took a left foot volley, and it was 2-1, and we thought we would have equalized and then brought the game to penalties, and that my left foot volley beat Carl Harris, and it just hit up on the upright. Griffiths, all of the 4B guys, Clarence Thomas, yourself,
Clarence
just
Wallace.
said,
Clarence Wallace.
Clarence Wallace, yes. And they were just saying, Doug, that's a very lucky kick you made, and just unfortunate that it didn't score.
Yeah.
That was a very memorable match for me, because a lot of people were looking at that match, and just one of these things. But I wasn't a great footballer. I mean, I just played enough to get by.
So let me ask you something. What the best learning experience you think you get from Meadowbrook?
At Meadowbrook,
Yeah.
I learned that I had a lot of admirers at Meadowbrook, and because I was a late bloomer. No, I did. My uncle told me, he says, Doug, the girls love you off there. And I said, really?
That's after I leave school.
But while I was there, I had a young lady calling me, and I could not figure out her name because she changed up her voice.
Oh, you mean call you on your house phone?
Yes.
We're not on a cell phone them time. I have to make sure people understand.
No. That's right. No, there's no cell phone, a landline. You're tied down.
Yeah.
So there's no tracking and reverse tracking.
Yeah.
And she would call me, and she would tell me that she went to another school, and she and I would have conversations, and then she gave me a little inkling of a road that she live off or something, and I asked my dad where it is, and he says it's in this area. And to this day, I mean, I found out who the young lady was, and it turns out that it took me about 6 months to find out who she was, and she was just in love with me, and I did not pick up these things because I was just a late bloomer myself. I just took a long time to figure and get up to speed on
on the opposite sex. Yeah.
Yes, I think I remember one chick saying some people are late bloomers, and I believe I was. So at Meadowbrook, because even my wife, my loving wife that I met from Meadowbrook, I didn't talk to her at school. I went to a party by mistake, and that was the end of it. And that's why, we talk about unrequited love, where you wonder if the person loved you back and you're looking for it. But sometimes unrequited love, the person doesn't even know that you have feelings for them.
No,
And this is why one of the greatest songs that I love comes from this guy by the name of Bobby Caldwell. And it goes like this. I guess you wonder where I've been. I searched to find a love within. I came back to let you know, got a thing for you and I can't let go. And I wonder sometimes about the girls at Meadowbrook that you had a crush on, meaning myself. I wonder where they are now. And I wonder if they have found love. And then I'm saying to myself,
they're here, Dougie.
huh? They're hearing me?
Yeah, they'll find you.
The my year, no, yes, Freddie, you're right. I wonder when they know. What
Because
don't advertise them married and happily married. So,
because no, I'm married and happily married. But what happened is this guy, Bobby Caldwell, everybody thought he was a black guy. He's a white man, but he sounded, if you go and search for What You Won't Do for Love.
He must sing R&B.
He's singing R&B, and in 1979 it was recorded. And for Valentine's Day, if you check the history, they had to press 50,000 copies had to be pressed due to the demand for that song. And all it is somebody loves someone and they're searching.
So
my friends wonder what is wrong with me. Well, I'm in a daze from your love.
Where the man name, Doug? Look it up. Where the man name?
I'm encouraging everybody to go and bring up some version of Bobby Caldwell, Bobbycau Caldwell, Cauldwell, Caldwell.
So hold on now. Remember the question I asked, Freddie, hear the question I asked Dougie. I hear him gone now. He said best learning experience, and I love him I talk about,
Yes, love. I learned love from Meadowbrook because I learned that I had many admirers at Meadowbrook, and I admired many girls, and we just could not bring the two things together because I was slow to pick up on their clues, and maybe they were advancing and it flying over my head.
You understand? No, that's not exactly what I say. The same thing I feel about myself. Mr. Late bloomer, you come to that like you. It's like,
yes.
But guess what? I'll put it that way. Maybe we wouldn't married. I'm married for over 30 years, right? Maybe the life would have been different because if we were early bloomers. Cause I remember what I'm doing with the cricket, You were early bloomer with the cricket, and what happened?
It caused a problem.
You fall flat.
Yeah, you get into bad habits. You get into some bad habit because schoolboy, a guy bowling to me, you're not going to intimidate me. Cracking bowling to me is not going to intimidate me. In fact, it's going to want me to put him as quickly.
Yeah. But
exactly.
But with ignorance with the opposite sex, Dougie, it might have worked better for we because we have better long-term relationship, which we don't have no regret time, and we don't have none either. So...
yeah. So, but what happens is that, I mean, that was my most embarrassing moment where I could not find out who that young lady was, but I learned subsequently who she was, and I said to her, but she would walk past me at school like she don't know me, but she would be calling me on the phone.
Well, let's be called an expert because I never have the same problem we have because as much simple as I think, Pan Freddie was, but Freddie, you'd have a question for you. Me not put it on the spot. You'd have someone like have a question for you.
No, the thing is, it's opposite with me. Because when I came from Meadowbrook, everybody thought I was much older than everybody else.
Right.
Because of my experience outside, living in Boys Town, Arima, and Marvel. You learn so much, you go up so fast, you know so many things.
Yes.
Some everybody starts to act like we're grown.
He exposed to a lot more things than me and Doug were exposed. That is true.
I teach a lot of things, in my food farm. I can remember Brian Brown, who was a goalkeeper.
Yes, we know Brian Brown.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Knocked out one day, in PE. And
really?
Nobody couldn't really revive him. But I just remember some old time remedy with my grandfather and Adam used to use. I'm just applied that I can revive. So away, even Mr. Campbell, the PE teacher, but it's not Mr. Owen, the other one. Mr. Strodick.
You have a PE teacher.
Yeah.
English and PE, yes.
Matt used to teach
how me revive him.
Sorry, Freddie, yeah.
He was surprised how me revive the kid. So, even with the football now, I never play farm football. I never play house football.
Right.
I was coaching Sanders when I was in Ford Farm. I was coaching the class team when I was in Ford Farm. So
right.
Everybody said I was too grown.
What Freddie I tell you indirectly in a doggy is that him never miss none of the cues them or me I am miss the girls them.
You know, me come with a brand new thing now to Meadowbrook where them never understand.
Yeah.
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 But those things help us, Hitchcock, because what it is now you're looking at, you see, no one person knows everything, and you
Exactly.
learn. Everybody takes something from everybody. You give and you take something, so you learn something there, and it makes you better.
Yeah, because you're right, Dougie, because each cap come in and him a teach we, but at the same time I learn a wholly from Meadowbrook and the environment of Meadowbrook. I love things him learn. I probably wouldn't have learned if he never got Meadowbrook. So the blend, as you said, the mixture what happened at Meadowbrook in that time there, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
can't relate to that, man.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I can just tell you, all I know is I learned a lot of geometric shapes from
Well, let
Meadowbrook.
me ask you something then, though. You know, I forgot the girl name. So,
Right.
she did look
Go on,
good?
call her name. She was very attractive.
Okay. You can't tell me half the year, but one know.
But
Because, you know, funny, it's, you know, Jelly,
Yeah.
when I was doing O levels, my math was the worst.
Sorry, go ahead, Freddie. Sorry.
So when I was doing O level math,
Yeah.
I couldn't cope. And you know, it's a third farm girl
Yeah.
who helped me with my maths right through fifth farm when she was in third farm.
Yeah. Because she know the maths more than you.
You know the person too. I won't call the name and everything.
Yeah.
love you. She loved you. She was trying to solve your equations.
But that not uncommon in a doggy. Yeah. We're Freddie.
Dougie.
Yeah.
It was around Cool Shade that she lived to, you know, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
when I was calling you.
Oh, really? Yeah.
When I was Freddie.
Yeah,
But
yeah, exactly. You kind of pick up now.
But what Dougie really are saying, or Freddie really are saying a doggy is that, I mean, I wouldn't even look that way at all, you know. It's like, we in a fifth farm, you know, and at the younger girls, I look up to we, you know, but we now look the same, you know.
You don't know, because you see what I learned is that females develop much, because if you look at I have 3 kids, and my daughter walked 2 months before the boys, and so the females develop quicker than males. They say that the frontal lobe development on the female ladies is complete by 19 years of age. That's why they live longer, because they don't take the chances that males take, because the male frontal lobe development, they said, does not occur until he's about 22. That's why we take so many chances, and then we end up losing our life.
Yeah,
so we're slower on a lot of things, you know?
Yeah. Unless you're exposed in a certain environment, they're exposed to more things. Like, two of them, you know, nature and nurture, socialization and
yes.
And your nature is like, and sometimes if you're not socialized, but eventually you live long enough, you get socialized the right way.
Absolutely, you learn. And so that was the most embarrassing thing for me, because she walked by me like I was an totally strange person.
That's embarrassed about. But say it's embarrassing or a learning experience. Which one is it?
It's both, because it took me a while to unmask and uncloak who this person was. and once I figured out, it was kind of awkward, because it was like, well, are you turning, what was your motive here? Because if you see me, why not just call to me? Why are you calling me at home and you change up your voice? Because she was more advanced than I was, and she was a very beautiful young lady.
Trust me, doggy, even today, at our age, no woman now do that. Trust me upon that. Them now go, if them like you, if you now pick up the cue, yeah.
Yeah, it is an amazing thing, because I remember another young lady, and she just said, "Doug, I'm in love with you." She came and told me that.
Yeah.
And I had to because I just wasn't. I was just slow. I'm gonna tell you, and I just said no.
You have no regrets? Say it slow. Let me ask you the question. You have regrets?
No, because I probably would get myself in a trouble. Yeah, stand me. The curvature them would have caused me to forget some other kind of curvature. You understand?
Trouble, yes.
Yeah. But it was something that, it was something to behold down there, you know, and and I treasure it. But some of it was embarrassing because I'm saying, how stupid could I be for not? That's why I talk about unrequited love. You know, the infatuation, the playful ludus love, the playful love, and you don't pick it up, but the next person is looking on it as, hey, I'm serious, and you're not reciprocating to me. What is going on?
It's a dance, man. I
So,
like life. It's a dance, and sometimes
right.
you're not ready for dance it, or it just a life that, a life that. But
Yes,
let me
yes,
ask you something. Let me ask you something. What life
right.
lesson you learned at Meadowbrook you pass on to your family?
To be mindful of other people. And the number one thing is always want more for others than you want for yourself. So my kids were grown up on the 10 commandments. All I said to them is, I want you to use these things as guidance for your life. I'm not going to force you into any particular religion. I want you to just use the 10 commandments to guide yourself. And what I want more is that you try to be honesty, show integrity, show probity, and want more for others than you want for yourself, and treat people how you want to be treated. And if you do that and show them the respect, big doors will open for you. And have patience. So
So,
of the 3 kids I have, 2 of them are very patient, and one of them is kind of like me, and I'm trying to curb them to say, you need to be a doctor, so you need to have patience.
so which? Go ahead, Freddie. Before me have Dougie the question.
Don't
Eh?
give me the one.
Yeah. So
So,
the question, you know, when we have so much lyrics, eh?
Oh,
Along
so,
I think I became more talkative after I left Meadowbrook for some
yeah.
reason.
More open-minded and more.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
guess that's what happened when you get. Maybe I'm getting Alzheimer's. I'm 60 now,
No,
so
Alzheimer's, you know, dog. It just says you reach a stage in your life now. You not try to prove nothing. You
you have to
just,
call it as.
you know,
No, I don't have any. I mean, I just tell them, it's
but no, you don't talk about the life lesson. I mean, I say you learned that matter, but which incident remind you where you get that lesson from? Which incident at Meadowbrook or which teacher reinforce a lesson that to you where I say this is what I want to pass on to your family? Must be an incident to stand out to you.
Well, what happens is I would say it's a number of things. It's like what Mr. The Dread said to me, that I have the wrong temperament and I don't have enough patience. And no matter how good you are at something, if you don't show the results to match what you think you're doing, then it's nothing, because it means you're not applying yourself. And so when he told me that, I learned that learn to apply yourself, and just to be very respectful of other people, different things that happen at Meadowbrook, and just interacting with football players, cricket players, things that I've seen, and you just say to yourself, hey, if you treat people the way you want to be treated, good things will happen for you. And that's pretty much it. And I've had a good life, and I've learned these lessons from Meadowbrook, and I take them with me every day, as you know. Hmm. Yeah.
I hear you.
We all learn lessons from Meadowbrook. It was such a beautiful school. I mean, it was just properly placed. It was in the middle of a big residential community. You wouldn't even know that a school was there. I mean, Pekka. I used to go there and buy this bread and butter from Pekka, and I used to go home to my mom and say, "How come you can't cook like this?" And she would just say, "I don't know how he cooks that, dog. You're gonna have to ask him." And Pekka would run off that canteen because the bulla and the bread and the different things that he put his hands on was just magnificent. Remember those things?
Oh, I mean, if remember that, dog. But you, yeah. Yeah, man.
Yes.
And you say Pekka, after I remember we have to lock the school gate to make Pekka, and we want to ease out Pekka, and we have to say, no, I must be mad. You remember when I knocked down the school and I said, no, I forget, Pekka can't come out of this at all. Pekka is an institution, not a school. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just the way how you treat people, because I remember a sunlight match, Remember Mr. Glaze? He had these. He would take us.
I used to carry about he was the bus driver for the Manning Cup team and the sunlight team.
Right.
Freddie and they were.
Yeah, Mr. Glaze. Two brothers.
Freddie
one drove a Toyota.
Yeah, man, Mr. Glaze.
Yeah, man. He live a Hurlingham drive and the road a cracking live. Yes.
Right.
Brother, brother-in-law, you know.
Oh, really?
Brother-in-law, man. He married to brother's sister, I think, or something.
When brother come and I go Meadowbrook, around the same used to live.
Yeah, brother used to live with them.
I never knew that. I did not know that, Freddie. Yeah.
That's the Muse there, right? By Hurlingham Drive, by Meadowbrook Muse, right?
No, it's when you're going down Meadowbrook. After you come out of school and you make the going back.
Hurlingham Drive, by the one that parallel to Ilea Drive, Dougie.
Yes.
Yeah. Meadowbrook, Tunbridge Muse, not Meadowbrook Muse. Tunbridge Muse, the Hurlingham Avenue, come around back to Meadowbrook Avenue and Tunbridge Muse is right here.
Yeah.
But you know what happened at talk about treat people how you want to be treated. I remember we had finished playing a sunlight match. We were in second form and we had, remember, stereo.
Yeah, man. Nigel
stereo.
Johnson. Yeah.
And then you had he
died. Yeah. Me hear that too. Freddie, yeah.
May his soul rest in peace, and all the Meadowbrook people who are not here with us, unfortunately. So Bobby, they had he was a wicket keeper.
Stereo.
Bobby. He had a big stereo.
Bobby Furman,
but he had a big afro. So what would happen is we were very mischievous. So some of the older guys that was sitting back there, they were smoking cigarettes. And I remember Stereo, God bless his soul. Stereo light the cigarette and with guys dusting it out the window. We're younger now, so we're just watching them. This is a novel thing for us back there. So all of a sudden, we see Stereo out in the cigarette in Bobby's soul, because Bobby pick up him soul and
it's a big afro and time. Yeah.
Yes. And then Bobby turned around and said, "What smell like here burning so?" And we said, "Hold on a sec here, man. Bobby don't know the stereo out in the dusting out the cigarette in the back of him here. So when you look in there, you just see little holes. And of course, we back there, we don't want to get in any trouble, so we're not gonna say anything." Mm-hmm. And stereo was so mischievous. And then it didn't really affect Bobby's afro because it was so big. And these little things, you just said to yourself, "Hey, stereo, what if he was doing that to you?" Mm-hmm. So it was just mischief and little things like that where you say, always think about what you're doing. And Bobby's sitting there saying, "What smell like burning here?" Well, dude, is your here burning?
I Dougie, I bring up an important thing, because despite we're boys and boys are always mischievous, and John reminded me that last week. And then I remember a big fight at Meadowbrook where war broke out at Meadowbrook, where a faction like that never happened at all. Never happened. I mean, I asked a man to fight and no quarrel, But there was never a time, remember, at Meadowbrook where you're afraid to go to school because, say, a war. That never happened at Meadowbrook at all. That's the magic about it to me.
There was something at Bottomfield where they had some guys up in the hill, remember? And there was something at a sports day, and it created some problems. But I don't know if it was Meadowbrook boys or boys from other schools.
That's probably the outsider coming. Yeah.
Right. What I didn't like, though, as I see happening to Bottomfield, is they put up this big 12-foot wall, and it has just changed the whole dynamics of that field. I don't understand why they needed to put a wall so high down.
What needs to happen in my mind, what needed to happen, or what can still happen, is almost like develop Bottomville into a mini stadium. If I
really?
That's how me that visualize it. I don't know if further see it that way there. Like a mini stadium with a good track and field and a good football field, you can host games out. You follow me? I said, I don't know if the infrastructure would allow you, because you're going to need parking facilities and all them things there. But
and it's still a church school,
Yeah.
But it's had a big influence down there because they made that pavilion.
Yeah. But that's what me that visualize to say, if you really want, because Meadowbrook really develop and expand a certain way. Because of most schools do it now, Dougie. They build their own field and have their own stadium in a sense. And it don't have to be nothing big and fancy.
Right.
It don't have to be nothing big and fancy. There's something. But I don't know if it possible, I don't know if the infrastructure would allow it. Because Meadowbrook, that's the thing with Meadowbrook, there was no room for expansion for enough things, Whereas other school, when you look over Calabar up at JC, we will heap of land there for the certain things, Freddie. We just
Right.
we do have that. Yeah, go ahead, Freddie.
The way structure, you could still get maybe, because even now when I go back now, the place looks much smaller than it used to be.
Oh yeah. It's the same size. It's just that we're accustomed to a different dynamic, and when you go back, it's like, is this where I was really sitting and walking?
Yeah.
So militarized.
So what do you think would happen, Freddie? Yeah, you sound like you have an idea in terms of that. What possible down
is
there?
really you wouldn't get a 400 track. It have to be 300, which is that what they have now.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could expand on the cricket. It's because if you dump, you'd have to dump up back to the gully.
Yeah, and raise it up.
Yeah, so from the gully to the field as it is now would be more than enough to get a nice size football field and other things. But the running track would be a problem. But you have space. You'd have to do some dumping up and
but
because if you know on the other side of the other side of the gully, them dump it up and build apartments.
Yeah, me know, right. Me know, say apartment build on the other side. But the only problem with what I talk about in Freddie is, it's not even say the infrastructure. It's like if you have a stadium down there, you have crowd down there. Where the people are going to park?
Yeah.
It's a message. The other school might have the facility, and I say, okay, them can hold a certain amount of car, and people are coming. It's where the people are going. Because Meadowbrook in the Migla community, that is the problem.
Yes, it's in a residential area.
Yeah. And
there's a lot of parking space down on Michigan Avenue.
The resident didn't never like that at all. The resident because said no. It's
the only other way it could have worked out if there was stadium down there in terms of parking and other things.
Right.
People have to park elsewhere and then.
Yeah, you could have shuttle that. Yeah, that's an alternative for you. You could have even actually use the school as a parking thing and shuttle them down there. Yes. So it can still work, Freddie. But that's my vision how Mr. Bottomfield could have worked, Because just imagine, Dougie, if you have a nice mini stadium down there, and you can't use the hill as part of it. I don't know, somebody could have designed it, You remember
remember we used to go up there. We used to go up in the hill and watch the matches, Rodney and Piggott.
Right.
We used to go up there and
you know that there's actually a road now.
Oh really?
From the field, go straight up into the hill.
Oh really?
What kind of road? Walkfoot road, Freddie, or car drive?
No, car and bus and everything can go up there.
So which part of that I go from? Which part?
Then blast the hill, and somebody making some apartment right. You know that shed used to be?
Yeah.
Where the shed used to be? With the plum tree?
Yeah.
Behind the long jump. Where the long jump and
Yeah. Run out the back. Go towards the gully back then at Meadowbrook Memories.
Go straight up.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll get some pictures and send to you, Jerry.
So the land there, but they probably sell it out for man build apartment. I mean, I tell you, that feel like so much.
Apartment is right. If you're in the apartment, you can look down on the football field, just like you're right there. You see where the reservoir is? Reservoir?
Yeah.
Right to the left of the reservoir is that house.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of expansion down at Chancery.
Yeah, a lot of expansion.
Yeah.
Expensive lots.
Yeah.
Because living up there now is like Andre Russell and Nita and.
Oh really? Up to that same place there?
Yeah. And Samuels, all them live up in
Chancery. Live up that way there.
Yeah.
But it's just sad that Meadowbrook field, which was one of the most lush fields in the corporate area, I just since Mr. Barnes, may his soul rest in peace, since he passed on, it's just that field has never been the same because it was one of the. That's why when you're playing cricket there, you get excited to play because when you hit a ball and it is going down where the goalpost would be closer to ESO, the ball would race down there so quickly. You could hit a 4-run there in no time. The ball, and because the grass was there, the ball was just quick to run. And now I think it's unfortunately just not that way anymore for whatever reason. Not to mention the cows remember they had some cows, Mr. Barnes had some crazy cows that we had to bolt up on I didn't know people could get so gymnastic and get on the top of the building to save their life. Remember those cows used to run us
Getting
down to
wild
kill us?
sometimes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Carres used to live down there, so yeah, Kingsley's father,
Yes, yeah.
I remember that.
So,
But,
it was just a
let me
great
ask you
time.
something, Dougie. What the message you
Mhm.
have for the existing student that go Meadowbrook, our future student who will be going to Meadowbrook and I go hear this one day? What message you have to send to them?
So, anytime there is failure, don't look at it as a setback. Look at it as an opportunity to improve, shift, SHIFT, shift your mindset, shift your approach, shift your attitude. In everything you do, you should shift it to make it better. And if failure happens, it is good, not necessarily bad. Take the opportunity to learn from it and put steam under your belt to step up. Show respect, because the genesis of every problem in life, or a lot of the genesis of every problem in life, is disrespect. And just understand that don't get a big head. Don't get a big head. If you think you're getting a big head, put a bandage on it and go through life humble and understand that, this life is just for a small time, and live and let live.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Live and let live.
I hear you.
What
I hear you.
enjoy the rest. You must hold the head high. Don't get it swelled.
Exactly. Yeah, Bob Marley said, don't get a big head. Don't get a big head. And things like useful thoughts, success is a science or an environment that is cultivated. You need to compartmentalize your life so that certain things are going to happen to you in life. And whether you like it or not, you're going to have to be able to put those things in compartments and visit them when you need to go in there. Because if you cannot compartmentalize it, it can cause big issues for you, because everything in life is not going to go smooth. And you must reframe bad and negative experiences to good and positive. You must, for the students listening to this, positive thoughts always. Focus. You are what you think. If you think you're a loser, you're going to be a loser. So you must think positive and know your stuff. Do your best to overcome adversity, trials, difficult people, impossible deadlines. Don't take life too seriously. Laugh at yourself, be happy, give thanks, and help someone, and smile.
Yeah, man.
That's what I live by.
Success is a journey, It is a journey.
It is. It is. It's an environment that you create.
And the main thing you want to think about is that you don't want to do nothing we have to look back on and say. If you do it, you just need to fix it right away or apologize for it. But you don't want to do nothing and look back on and say, right, we shouldn't do it that way there. And Jerry talk about that, him say, when him embarrass a student and him say, I apologize right away. That's how you have to look on it. You're going to make mistake because you're human.
Of course.
But once you recognize your mistake, you say, let me just correct this right away. And not for be the same time, but you look on and you think about it and reflect on it and I say, because and don't make adversity stop you, because it's just part of the journey.
Absolutely. It's not how many, the success is not measured by material things, people get that twisted. It is measured by how many times did you get up? You got knocked down 10 times, you got up 10 times. And so as long as you're always getting up more than you're being knocked down, you will be successful, because success means different things to different people. Some people feel degrees are success. A degree is not a passport to a high-paying job. Everybody doesn't need to go to university. You and I have discussed this before. And what it is as long as you pick something that you're happy doing and it will get you where you think you need to be, follow your heart and everything will fall in place. Because this materialistic way of looking at things, sometimes I have found is not the best way. You need to practice minimalism. because you cannot carry these things with you, and you need to come to peace with whoever you consider to be your God,
Yeah, man.
and and, and act it out in your behaviors.
At the journey and the memories, Doug, because right now we are doing this now, just attack, and we have talked for over 2 hours now, and I come like nothing. And that's a journey and the memories. And the memories them good. Like enough.
Yes.
Oh yeah. The memories them good. Me I talk all the while, but you never talk, and each cat never know say so eloquent in terms of
Well, it's what it is, you just look, and I look back, and I'm looking at people like Penelope Latti. I'm looking in her pretty eyes. Yeah, man. I remember her eyes were so pretty. You remember her?
Yeah, man. Yes,
She was developed more than us, and Marcia Moore, Christopher Germain, Brian Johnson, Pong, all these people that are no longer with us. You just have to say to yourself, what is this life about?
You reflect on that, because that could be one of us, true. One of the
yes. We're one day closer, and we give thanks for our life and for the lessons we have learned,
Yeah.
And what you're doing here, Jelly, is, I know you're coming up to the end, is that it's such a good thing, because are putting a voice, and it is set there, and it reflects the memories that you remember of school, and a small snippet into the life that helped to shape your character, and you never make those friends again after you leave fifth form and they move out and they disperse. You will never make those friends again, and those are the most genuine friends you have. The reason being, they were your friends before you had anything. You get it?
Yeah, man. Them days a high school, and I don't know if it was that for other high school, but for we are Meadowbrook, it's like, you're right, Dougie. You're right. That's why the memories are so good. That's why the memories are so good, because that's some memorable moment. Would them start talking about all of them, because everybody, you listen.
No, you can't. It would take a long time.
And different people have different perspective, because you would say something and a man remember different.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't remember all of the cricket matches, but people remember. Oh, Doug was very aggressive. I remember clearly Ferdinand Bent bowling at me in practice, and I hit the ball back at him so hard it hit him in his mouth. He tried to catch it, and it went straight in his mouth and hit him. And I remember he returning the bowling now and almost hit me down, because he clearly was not happy that the ball was going to redefine his dentures or his teeth, So it's these things you remember, and you don't remember every single thing, but it is when you have this discourse now that you kind of
come up back, man. Enough of that thing come up back. I say, right.
Yes, like I never know about John Mayer being an Olympian. I remember crying at bottom field. Remember, there are 2 times I cried, that cricket match that I told you about earlier. And I was running 1,500 meters, and I was like the laughing stock, because I told Stallion, remember Stallion, tall guy?
That's another great Meadowbrook man.
Yeah. And I told him that I can't do anymore, and I started crying to him, and he says, Doug, just try and run one more lap. I was running for Ward House, and I was a rotten runner. I guess I wasn't fit enough, because I was running against people like Liston. Remember Liston?
Yeah, man.
Yes, them guys were some long distance runners, and me now with my
you knocked me. You couldn't run with a knock me.
Yeah, man. I mean, man, need knock on a gash. Come on. Hey, the man them said, Doug, what happened to the middle of your pants? The meat up, Remember what used to happen, my mom used to buy pants for me, and they were 2 times my size, and I used to say, Mom, why are you doing this to me? She said, Doug, well, I can't afford to buy pants every term. And then the guys used to tease me at school, saying, Doug, the way your pants are big, you could have gone shopping in it. It was embarrassing to me, but your parents doing their best to do what is required, and my lovely mom just said, Doug, you're not going to school to be some tight pants person, plus your knees already knocked, so just take it easy. You understand? The pants is so that you don't rub out because you're going to get short pants at this rate.
Should protect you and should protect her
Yeah,
money because she don't have the money for buy pants every month. Exactly.
exactly. So my
Exactly.
parents did their
Exactly.
best with what it was,
Exactly. Exactly.
and then people used to say, Doug, oh, you look so different now. Because my dad, who used to take us to McGregor Gully down by Sigani, McGregor Gully empty out right there, and my father would say the sea is medicine. My father believes in the sea.
So it's a
And
McGregor
so,
well into the rock fort there.
yeah, so McGregor Gully was not even quarter mile. And I used to say to my father, but what's all this garbage on the beach? He says, Doug, don't worry about it. The salt water kills everything. I said, I'm not sure about that, Dad. He says, don't worry about it. Get in the water. So, so what happened is I learned to swim down there. My dad loves dogs, and we would carry them. This is 4 o'clock in the morning before I go to Meadowbrook. And we go down there, and then my dad would not allow me to wash off the salt water because he says it's medicine for your body. So when that salt water is in my hair now and I'm playing cricket, my hair at Meadowbrook was red, and plus I had an afro, and the whole because it is salt water is, it's good for you, but in certain respects. So my parents tried very hard, and I love my parents for my dad with how he always purchased things. I mean, one day I remember some girls next door, JC Lodge. She lived down Burbank Avenue. And I remember her good friend, Bridget Brown. And, I got them over to home, and we were riding the chopper bicycles because her dad was from a bicycle shop that sell Raleigh bicycles down Barry Street. And we were playing table tennis. So I have these three very nice looking young ladies. And my dad come home, and I said, oh my God, he's going to spank me. So we're playing on a table tennis board in the back, not the greatest board. My dad come in, he was like, Doug, who are these young ladies? And I start to introduce, oh, this is Bridget from next door and her friend from down the street. You see, the next day, boss, I have a brand new table tennis board. I have brand new racket. That the racket them never have no rubber on it, you understand? So when the ball hit you, so my father now come in saying, but wait, Doug look like he's pointing in the right direction here.
Yeah,
And
you see me.
new board, and he asked me the next day, where are the young ladies? I said, well, Dad, they're not. They just came by, to just play a little table tennis over here, and that's it. But so the reason now, here's where it's because I started going to Meadowbrook. It was a little more easier for me now to interact with the opposite sex. You understand? Not that we're doing anything, but I was not afraid of them because I was sitting beside them
You
every
get
day at
familiar
school.
with them. Yeah.
Exactly. And so therefore it took nothing for me to say, you want to come over my house and play some table tennis?
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
And so, Meadowbrook, I love Meadowbrook for that, to help you to ease in and be easy to talk.
It make you mature a certain way where you not
Yeah,
mature.
You're not afraid of their of their personality
You're
or
not
anything.
afraid of the female spirit. Man, put
No,
it away there because they're a special spirit. Yes.
exactly, because they're right there. They're the best spirit there. They're the fairest spirit. They're the smarter ones.
Magical
And
spirit.
so,
Yeah.
yes, and so you're not afraid of them to say, "Hey, can you come over and play table tennis?" And it doesn't mean anything else. Not at this point in time. You understand?
Yeah.
So these, and then my father was like, because as I said, where I lived on Burbank Avenue between Kirk and Swallowfield, that area I was like the mayor for that little area of Burbank Avenue. So everybody came to, and my dad, as I said, he grew up very humble, and I don't understand why we would burst the football on the fence. It was very sharp, and he would always buy the footballs over and over and over. And I believe because when he was growing up, he didn't have it, and therefore he just facilitated us. So we used to tear up the lawn. I mean, food cooking, all kind of things, bully beef sandwich. And it was just my home was just, I don't know if he did it to keep me home, and therefore everybody came to Burbank,
Yeah, that was a tragedy from your father. You want to know your
Yeah,
friend them instead of, yeah, yeah.
I was talking to Chana about that, and Chana said yes because he wanted to keep you at home, and at the same time, he want to give you, show you how to interact with people. Because sometimes he would be there, and he come and play with us outside
And
because he
man,
was a sports guy.
more importantly, man, know your friend them.
Absolutely, I think it was that is what I think he was
Yeah,
doing more
man.
than
Because
anything
it's a
else.
smart move, you know, because instead of you a go look friend, your friend them a come to you. And
Uh-huh.
you have influence more, and him would have influence. Even if your friend them come from a certain area, them come to you now, them have to behave a certain way. I know
Yeah.
it's a
Uh,
strategic
Parents,
move.
well, a lot of parents do that still because remember Mrs. Chung?
Yeah, that
yes,
a
yes,
Richard,
yes.
yeah, same thing, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But go ahead, Fred,
Mm.
yeah, talk about that because I did tell me about that, you know, and me never know
Yeah,
that.
no man, that was fun
Yeah,
because Mrs. Strong now will adapt. I think she adapted like quite a few of us. Me, Kraken, I even remember Leighton. We used to have Wolmers, but he used to hang with us. Kraken friend
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, Leighton,
Yeah,
I know. I'm looking at him right now. Mm-hmm.
yeah. Even him used to be there with us summertime every summer. As soon as it
Yeah.
reached me, it's straight to Charities to Mrs. Chung house. Oh,
Really? She
Yeah,
yeah,
died,
she would.
I think Mrs. Chung died, right?
yeah. So I
Yeah,
hear, I think Mr. Chung died recently. I
Mhm.
think she died a
Mr.
couple years
Chung
ago.
died yes, Mr. Chung died, I think 2 years ago. I saw his obituary in the paper. He
Him
was
was
a
a, as you mentioned him name, you know, him was a big supporter of the dread, you know. 'Cause I see when the top field, the concrete pitch at the top field,
built it. He built
uh,
and
it.
Mr. Chung responsible for that. The dreaded right me a letter and explain that to me. And Mr. Chung instigate, well not even instigate, I'm responsible for set up that.
yeah, he's
Yeah,
a civil engineer, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Remember,
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
remember his nephew Devon Chung, also a master civil engineer. Mr. Chip Chung, because I remember my dad saying that Mr. Chung is a genius at engineering.
Yeah,
He had a lot of Jaguars. Remember, he used to
yeah,
drive
he used to
yeah.
drive him
love
Jaguar,
Jaguar car
yeah.
and then pull them down. And we used to have some bad Alsatian over this on German Shepherd.
Come
Remember?
on.
But Freddie, tell me about some of the memories there I go over.
No,
I Jaguar remind me, you know, me never go the same because I never live beside their town.
sometime all 20 of us, because
It was
when
like what
one tell
Douglas
them,
said, like a chunks opal instead of doggy opal. Yes.
we
Yeah,
just, we just bring them and she would have domino tables out
Yeah.
and she would serve us tea in the hot time. So they would say, why Mr. D? She said, no, the tea good for us. And she would explain everything.
Mm.
Just was
yes.
like the mother.
And it cool you down too. The hot tea in the hot weather
Yeah,
cool you down. Mm.
yeah. I can't remember playing much at Sabina Park, and she was taking home me, Diego, her two sons, and somebody else. But that
Right.
day I got like 3 or 4 wickets. So, just celebrate and thing and just okay, we go eat and we said
Yeah.
no, we don't stop nowhere and eat. We want to go straight home.
Mm.
Oh,
Her house.
really?
You want warm
Yeah,
food,
Oh,
warm cooked food.
oh.
Yeah.
stop.
That's what I was saying that Meadowbrook had. And she used to come to every match. Remember, she had an
Oh, I
escort.
mean, hold on.
She had a right escort, I believe. And
She
she
got
would
every
come
match,
to.
man. And when break time come, if we don't get enough lunch, Mrs. Chung always have food.
Mm. And Mr. Chung would come there too. I remember him in the
Yeah,
gym. He
man.
would come and very quiet man,
You're great
and
supporters of the team, man. Great supporters of
uh,
the team, man. I remember that good to Friday. And I never visit one of the yard. I didn't know the yard on activities. I
She
Jay tell
even
me
gave
about it. Eh?
she used to give me like shirts that she would get from abroad.
Yeah.
yeah.
She would give us like t-shirts, different
Yeah.
stuff.
Stuff. Yeah, just make you feel nice.
Then
You see, so,
she did get a job for you, Freddie, when they leave school.
She got the job for me at Ministry of Education.
Mm-hmm.
That's for the
wow.
Permanent Secretary, Mr. Allen. And she just
Mm,
Allen and said go to him, but all of that changed now when Spanner said no, I don't need a job, I need a career. So, ministry, but Mrs. Chung already set that up for me. I said, it's a, because she knew that I didn't want to go back to school. So she was like a grandmother to all of us.
Yeah, man.
yeah.
I do remind
So
me about that. Well, it tell me because I never experienced it because I live on the other
Yeah,
side
man, it
of
was a
town. Yeah.
great.
But remember, I bring the food on my much, man, and she was a genuinely sharing person, man.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember that,
You,
man.
you feel that, you know,
Yeah, man, yeah, man, yeah, man.
you
I
feel it.
can't. I just talk about her, and you can see the smile on her face, and you can see her
Yeah,
proud, man. Yeah, man, yeah,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
She was
yeah,
like a
yeah.
mother
She
to
was,
all of us, man. I remember her good, man. I
It
remember.
was like a family,
Yeah, yeah,
you know.
yeah,
I have a lot of parents because Mr. Strong was one parent, Mr. Cheddar was one
yeah.
other
But I'm
parent.
Cheddar
yes,
father and
yes,
Sam. Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah. He came to a lot of matches in his
Most of
dark
the match, him to
glasses,
man.
right?
And female did
Yeah,
big.
yeah, man. He would be directing the players what to do.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
More so his son, I guess,
Hold
Cheddar,
on.
you know,
And Cheddar
Chris.
tell me, say, is another man that from St. Mary to, Dougie.
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
No,
Yeah, man. Cheddar
no.
father come from St. Mary to, man. At the end of the day, me and him a talk, him a tell me that. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But John parents come from St. Mary too, you know.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
really?
something I never got St. Mary's eye. Yeah, we never realized that. I never realized that.
Yeah.
But anyway, gentlemen, if we wrap this up in a way they talk long, because we know that they got months to get doggy upon the thing, because
Yeah,
we
we
just,
got we got to go pop some caps and have some drinks now if it goes
yeah,
longer
yeah,
than
yeah,
this.
I have to put it down in the paid wall, and I say, if you don't want to hear more, I have to pay some money.
Exactly. Exactly so.
But hold on, before we go, I have a couple of questions. But Freddie, you have any final thoughts where you want to Doug any questions?
Oh, it was good.
Yep. All right, Doug, let me ask you the floor then now. Anything, where you think we should ask you, any words you want to say, the floor is yours. To say what you want to say.
Yeah.
Ask question
Well,
of me and Freddie before me ask my last question. Go ahead.
right. Well, what I must say is that this brainchild of yourself, supported by Alfred and all the other folks who have come ahead of time of this today, it is a very unique thing that you have put together here. And so the genesis of it is I've always looked at you, Jelly, as somebody who is always forward thinking. And I've always respected you for that. You and I, we have our disagreements, and I'll say, Jelly, this is how I feel. I sometimes will come around to your thought. And what you have done here is amazing of outside the box thinking, because what you're doing is capturing a memory for the ones of us that are fortunate enough to have passed through Meadowbrook and are still walking upright and alive. Hitchcock, amazing guy. You have a great temperament, very gentle, soft spirit you have. And for you to couple with Jelly and do this, and I encourage everybody else who has benefited from this and has participated that they should also, try to help host some of it, because it is time consuming. And all I will say is the things that I said about respect, and don't let people tell you can't be what you need to be. Even if you fall down, get up. And the last thing I would say is, thou shalt not COVID thy neighbor. And that's it.
COVID or COVID?
COVID. Remember the
COVID.
10 commandments, thou shalt not COVID thy neighbor.
Hold on.
So
Yeah, sorry, I get that right. A COVID or COVID?
no, I'm
COVID.
playing on some words.
Okay, I hear you.
Yeah.
You have to Robin grandpa. Don't shall not COVID
Yeah,
that name.
man, thou shalt not COVID thy neighbor. Not COVID. COVID. Don't give them COVID.
I just hear you. No understand. No understand. This,
So it is good that what you have done here for sure. And I hope the Meadowbrook family, because you learn things about people that you never knew. You hear them talking, and I'm like, really?
you
I
never
didn't
know that. Yeah. That is.
So it's a fireside chat, and
Yeah,
it is amazing. So I thank you for this, Jelly, and
No, thank you, Dougie. Thank you, because it's therapeutic for me too. Because when me listen it back, can me do it, and when me listen it back before it go live, after my son set it up, and me listen it back like a day or two before. A therapy for me too. I know if I think that me listen back, I'm like, right, I did. Me remember ask some questions there are. So
Right.
I appreciate the gratitude I say no, and I say, yeah, me respect that. I appreciate that. Me Hitchcock appreciate that. On behalf of me
And
Hitchcock.
all I remember is just the love at Meadowbrook, whether it was given back or not given, or it flew over your head, and the bottom feel and the curves and just the wonderful
The
people that
memories,
we
man.
went
The
to
memories,
school with.
dog. The
Yes, the
memories.
memory was just the teachers, the
Yeah, everything.
just the
It's
great. It was
everything.
the greatest time of my life. It was the greatest time of my life. I don't regret anything about going
Yeah,
to Meadowbrook and
I
not
endorse
passing my
that. I
common
feel the same way
entrance.
about that, dog. At the greatest time of
Mm,
my life. I feel the
mm.
same about. Even though may I never see the girls, them, I still the greatest.
Hey man, I saw them and I just was like, man, that's amazing. So
You see them, but you never get put touch, right? Are you?
we don't understand because we're slower and we're stupid.
Yeah.
And what's most embarrassing for me is walking past this young lady and she's the one calling me, and I'm like, Doug, how stupid could you be?
So
That's
hold on.
her.
Let me bring her back. Was she older than you in the same class or younger?
Younger,
Yeah,
like a
man.
year. That's what I'm showing you, that you're slow. I
Yeah,
don't
man.
know
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I'm
Because
stupid,
she would be
but
attracted to you. She would be attracted to you,
yes,
man. The younger one, but you
yes.
not expect it at all.
Yeah,
Uh,
and but what it is she's operating like she don't know me when she's walking past me, but she's calling me. What are you crazy in your head, or what kind of games are you playing with me?
No, that's
Mhm.
it. That's a magic. That's the feminine spirit that play with it, man.
That's what
That's
I'm talking about, the unrequited,
and no
that love,
disrespect to
that
them.
infatuation.
No disrespect to the feminine spirit. Them can't help themselves. That's how they want to do it. It's not like she do it deliberately in a doggy. That is just it's almost like an evolutionary skill the way them I use. That's how them survive.
Yeah, I would have preferred if she had just come up and say, "Hey, dog, I want to
No,
meet
no, you
you."
mad doggy, no.
And,
That's how a man do. Man pursue.
yeah,
A
right,
woman
right,
the
right.
evolutionary
Yeah, but
a woman wouldn't
it's very
survive.
yeah, but it was very embarrassing for me because it was like, how did I get so stupid here? What happened to me? Why did I not see this? Me, the way how I'm thinking about it, it would be just come and say hi to me, and I would say hi back.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
But
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
you live and you learn, and I love her, and she
How
loved
did she
me,
get your
and
number?
whatever. Hmm?
How did she get your number anyway? You ever find out
She
how she
she
got the number?
she got it from some other folks at Meadowbrook. The question
Oh,
is, how
okay.
did I find out? Somebody tipped me off.
Doggy,
Because she
Ichka,
told
where really
someone.
ask it? Ichka, where really ask it? If a woman
Oh,
want to
no,
know you, even know
yeah,
them days,
yeah,
yeah.
man.
If a woman want to
Yeah.
pursue you, Freddy,
She
Mm.
gonna find it.
yes, yes, yes,
Ah,
yes. Trust me, yeah, get.
ah. They're smarter than us. So it's
It's an
it's like,
evolution. Let me tell you, it's an evolutionary advantage that we do have at all.
yes,
Them see things
yeah.
there. If they want to pursue you, and most of the time, most man nah know. So is yeah. But
But
because
remember what they said, Jelly, that men think like um squares, like the square Lego your ego. So if you have a bunch of egos, packed up on top, men think in the squares.
yeah,
Women think between the squares, so
yeah,
they
yeah,
think
yeah,
like
yeah.
spaghetti. So they'll link one layer to the next layer
Mm-hmm.
because they're how their mind works. They look at things differently, and they think
Yeah,
spaghetti.
man, right.
What is connected to what versus we just on a plane,
Yeah, and we not a control over
inside of
that,
the
you know.
sphere.
Is
Mm.
evolutionary biology will determine that. Man go
That
a
was
different way
that was
because that's yeah.
and
Yeah.
that was one of the most embarrassing things for me at Meadowbrook, walking past this young lady. She had me like a stupid guy, and I'm like,
Freddie,
I'm
you're the man
walking
that talk
past
about
her.
that. We have to find out half the year now, because we don't want to call the name.
Yeah, who that,
Mm.
yeah?
Eh?
I will
Yeah,
not
who
reveal the name of that young lady, but she knows who she is,
Yeah,
and
but brother, me have ask you half the year. You can't stay there. Me afraid of know how half the year. We not
yeah, I'm
talk.
not gonna release that. So listen,
All right,
don't
anyway,
talk about
hold on.
that.
Last question. Last question. Me ask
Yeah,
everybody. Last
right,
question.
right.
Me ask everybody. What made Meadowbrook magical?
The year that I went there and the people that were in that bubble with me during that time. So for the 5 years, 6 years that I went there, I was in a bubble with 90 people during that time. And the teachers made it, Mrs. Johnson for history. Um, it's just the learning experiences that you got from those classmates and the teachers and the environment and playing sports. If you don't play sports, you're not. To be rounded, you need to play some form of sports. My dad believed in that, and I do believe in that also.
Yeah, talk straight up my Hitchcock Street because we know the important. It's like you don't know the important. You don't know where I miss out. Where you ever learn on the sports field, no classroom can teach you that.
Never, Jim.
That's correct. That's what I'm telling you. That's why when the guys came into the home to the bowling that I saw with that plastic ball, I could not, because we used to have the red stripe crate. Remember the red stripe?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And then we had 2 Neapolitan ice cream containers as the top of that, and that was the wicket. And I'm telling you, some of the spin that I see come off of that ball on the concrete, after I get exposed to that, there is almost no ball that I'd never seen before.
Yeah.
And then you had the pace bowler Christopher Kennedy, who was a very good pace bowler for Kingston Technical, a left-handed guy. So you the things you learn from those things, you never see those things again. And so sports allow you now to go and ask that guy how you did that. Because if you come up to him and get vexed with him because him bowl you, you're not going to learn anything from him. So you're going to go up to him and say, hey, explain to me how you did that. And then he may or may not. But if you word it the right way and treat him the right way, he will probably say to you, anytime you see my hand come this way, the ball come in this way. Until you learn those things by interacting with people with sports. Sports is the greatest therapy and medicine for you as a person.
Yeah, you know what I say? I just say, I think about it and I say, it's like sports is the opposite of how them I teach you, Because them I teach you, when you went to the classroom, forget the right answer. When you play sports, there's no right answer, right ball,
Exactly. Each situation.
It's how you got to survive.
Right.
So you see what right.
Yeah, what sport is doing, you see, man is genuinely atomistic and egotistic and individualistic. Those are normal behaviors of people. If you study economics, you'll see that. But when you play sports, it's telling you, especially the type of sport, like a cricket or a football, or not the sport that you are the only one playing, like a tennis, but
the
for
team
cricket,
sport,
football,
team sport.
Yes, the output of the next man's effort is the input to your effort. So if he doesn't give his all, you can get messed up. So it teaches that camaraderie, that esprit de corps, that team spirit to say, we have to win, and I have to come with my A game so I can pass it on to you to give your A game so that we get the end result. So it is a wonderful tool to teach you how to respect people, how to get along with them for a good goal down the road.
Because if you transfer that the way you just talk about in any organization, you can't lose, man. You can't lose. Because any organization to be successful, you're going to need a teamwork thing.
Of course.
And as Tegra was saying earlier podcast, teamwork with the dream work, and as sports, more than anything else, we man learn teamwork. Come and learn it on the job enough ready.
Yeah.
You follow me? I say
and the mistakes that you make, like for me, I can talk about myself. Had I just absorbed more of what Mr. Here was telling me and not be so flamboyant to be hitting the ball all over the place for the spectator entertainment, it would have probably been slightly different.
Yeah. The trajectory are different.
Right. And all the things he said, because he observed me. That's what I'm trying to tell you. He observed the temperament. You give away your wicket too quick. All of these things was right. And I live to see the day where you must learn patience. You have to.
Yeah.
So Julian Hitchcock, this was amazing. It sounds like you coming.
No, well, this is the longest podcast. My name have to check it, but I'm just
really?
Last, yeah, man. I'll use last because while we are talking, I call him name. Diego give me a call, I miss call, but you my phone there, and I never answer the call. I forgot to call him back. I try to call him from out there, and he might try to call me.
So you say we run down the battery. We run the battery down. We plug mine in and wanted the volume to be turned up, turn it up.
play up and play the game. So, Dougie,
Yes, man. Yeah, man.
Freddie, this was a blast. This was amazing. The conversation here was just easy, friendly,
Oh, yeah.
and we'll go through.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah. We not pretend we just come as,
yeah, man,
as
yeah,
we
man,
are.
yeah, man. As it is, man. And that's the memories,
as we are.
That's the memories. I'm glad. I appreciate you come on, come give a story because everybody's story different, and every time you hear a story, somebody relate to that particular part of the story. It might be you are talking about the waterfall.
Love.
Somebody might say, "Oh, yeah, remember that?"
Of course.
Go ahead,
Everything adds up. Everything.
Yeah, man. Every little story add up, man.
It's only a snippet you get, because remember now, we can't remember every blow-by-blow detail. You just remember, it's like when the girl said to me, you're going to make a lousy husband. I could never forget those words out of my... To this day, I tell my wife, I'm trying not to be a lousy husband, and I'm just can't understand why she would have said that to me.
Doug, but me tell you already. She wanted you as her husband, so she'll get rid of the competition. She'll get rid of the competition. If she'll hear this,
I'm only in third farm and not yet ready to marry, but I just don't know how she got me from third farm to be a husband.
She was planning for you. Freddie, him not get it. If you want
to not get it, he's slow. He's slow.
He's slow. Him did all the fast in the cricket bat, yeah, Freddie. That's it.
But I can tell you, I treasure her for those comments, and my wife treasures her for it.
Because I make sure you were not a lousy husband. I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
My wife, I try every day not to be a lousy husband because she's a Meadowbrook chick and she give me 3 great kids, and I try not to be a lousy because your wife is one of the most important decisions that you're going to make in your life, and it is critical.
She will hear this when this podcast has come out, and
hopefully she will. Hopefully she will feel good about it and say, "Oh, Meadowbrook did teach that hammerhead." He did listen. Yeah.
Freddie, Dougie.
Yeah.
If we don't listen, we're not going to stop, but this was a blast. Thank you. This was a good one.
All right, guys. One love. Take it easy.
Yeah, man. All right, Freddie. We're talking. Yeah, man. Cool.
All right, Freddie. All right, Jelly. Cool.
Thanks for listening to Meadowbrook Memories. And remember to give us all the support and encouragement you can on whatever social media platform you are listening. And special thanks to my production manager, Kyle Prince, who takes care of everything involved in getting the podcast out every week, and without him, this podcast would not be possible. It is his expertise that allows me to do what I love doing every week, having great conversations about Meadowbrook Memories, and he's responsible for everything else. So again, thanks to my production manager, Kyle Prince.